Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto trained by Itachi part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. Naruto was scared senseless. He had just ducked behind a dumpster next to the police station after just barely escaping from another mob, the second one today, and his little, malnourished, 8-year-old body just couldn't keep up with the strain of running. It also didn't help that he hadn't had anything to eat in almost 2 days. "Hey, over here! I found him!" shouted a medium-height, black-haired Chunin. "Grab him and let's go. If we do it in our district, we can just say he's trespassing and kill him legally," stated a tall, older man with the same black hair. Uchiha District. Itachi had just finished killing off the South District. He couldn't believe that he was going to go from village hero to the most hated man since Orochimaru overnight. But he knew it was for the good of Konoha, and the more Uchiha managed to kill, the least likely the chance for rebellion. His orders had been to kill off every man, woman, and child that had been or was a ninja, but he could feel another presence killing the rest of them. He could care less. The only Uchiha Itachi could stand was his brother Sasuke, his mother, his best friend, whom he had killed as per request to protect Konoha, and his long-dead babysitter, Obito, who he remembered from when he was 3, or maybe even 4. So lost in thought, Itachi didn't even realize he had finished off the West and East District as well. Now he stood before his home, the last home. With what should be the last 2 surviving members of his clan he was planning to kill. He walked into his home, only to find his mother already dead. A kunai still lodged in her throat. She was holding a small blonde boy in her arms, a boy he knew too well. His father and other surviving members of the clan standing around her. "Fugaku-sama, you did the right thing in killing the demon lover. Now let's kill the Kyuubi brat, and then we can take over the village," stated an older member of the police force. "I'm afraid I cannot allow this," stated Itachi as he made himself known. "It's over. I've killed every last Uchiha, and I'm not going to let you harm Naruto-kun anymore." "Itachi, what is the meaning of T?" The older Uchiha was cut off by having his head literally cut off. Before Fugaku's decapitated head hit the floor, the rest of the Uchiha were dead as well. All slain by the clearly pissed off Itachi. This was when he finally heard Naruto, sobbing into the chest of the dead Uchiha matriarch. Miss, why did you protect me?" cried Naruto. He had been dragged into the district by the other Uchiha, and then all of a sudden he was swept up in a hug and being taken away by the lady. He heard her yelling at them about harming Kushina and Minato's child, but that only seemed to piss them off more. Before he knew it, she fell to the ground and started gurgling. "Naruto-kun." Naruto spun around to see Red Eyes watching him like a hawk. Though unlike the other Red Eyes, these held no malice, only kindness and respect. "Weasel? Is that you? What's going on?" questioned Naruto. The voice the red-eyed teen spoke with was the same as the nice Anbu who always helped him and sometimes even feed him. "Yes, it's me. Call me Itachi, but we must leave here. Come with me, we must go see Sandaime-sama." Konoha Water Reservoir. "Weasel Sarutobi started, please, run that by me again." "I was almost done with my mission when I came across Naruto-kun in my home. It seems that Fugaku and some others were planning to kill him, but my mother protected him. I believe it was my father who killed her. After I killed the rest of the Uchiha, I brought Naruto-kun here. I am unsure if all the Uchiha are dead, but the only one I know to be alive is my brother," answered Itachi. Sarutobi nodded. Itachi had basically completed the mission, but Sarutobi couldn't decide what to do with Naruto. He couldn't just let him continue to get beaten and maybe even killed, especially now that Itachi was gone. "Itachi, we will no longer be following the plan." This shocked Itachi greatly. "Then what are we to do, sir? You and Sasuke are the only members left of the Uchiha. He was at the academy, and you were sent on an extended mission outside of Konoha yesterday," started Sarutobi. Itachi nodded. "My Anbu found one dead ninja not of Uchiha origins. After examining the man, we found him to be from Root, which was disassembled years ago. This will clear your name, and help me with a little problem I've been having." "What of Naruto?" asked Itachi as he motioned to the young boy, passed out next to Itachi, Kyuubi chakra healing his wounds. Sarutobi motioned to Naruto. "Is your mission. He has been attacked 3 times this last week and they seem to be getting worse. He is no longer safe in this village. You will take him with you, let him see there is more to life than running from mobs. Train him to be great, as you know, his potential is limitless. I want him back here by the time your brother graduates from the academy. If he is not at least mid-Chunin by the time you return him, I will mark you as a missing nin. This shocked Itachi. Sir, do you really believe he can be mid-chunin inside of 4 years? I understand he has Jonin-level reserves, and that his mother and father were Yandame-sama and Kushina-sensei, but still, it took me almost 5 years to get to join. Questioned Itachi. Use shadow clones. Sarutobi smiled. Itachi's eyes widened. Sarutobi reached into his robes and pulled out storage scroll. That hold enough money for you to live about 6 months, 2 with Naruto with you. I will be in contact with you for a couple of months. He'll send you Minato's scrolls in exactly 1 year. It is up to him if you learn anything from them. After that, the only contact between you and me will be a report you send every 3 months. Goodbye, Itachi, and good luck to you both. It was going to be an interesting 4 years for the unlikely duo. Next day, somewhere in Fire Country, Naruto slowly stirred awake. He had been trapped in some weird dream where he was walking aimlessly through what seemed to be a sewer. Good, you're awake. There is much I need to tell you, stated Itachi, looking over to the blonde while still facing a fire. Itachi? Where are we? What's going on? Questioned Naruto as he took in his surroundings. He was in a small clearing in a wooded area, but that's all he could tell. Naruto-kun. I'm sorry to tell you this, but we have been all but banned from Konoha. 4 years for you and I don't know how many for me. During your years away from the village, I will be teaching you. You will be a strong shinobi, strong enough to support your heritage, and eventually, to surpass both your parents. Stated Itachi with a kind smile. My parents? You know my parents? Who were they? Questioned Naruto. His happy face suddenly turned to despair. Did they hate me like everyone else? No, Naruto, they loved you very much. In fact, their last wish was for you to be seen as a hero for the burden you were forced to bear. Answered Itachi. Who were my parents? And what burden do I bear? Questioned the 8-year-old. The burden you bear is that you are the container for the Kyuubi no Kitsune, one of the 9-tailed beast. He was sealed in you by your mother and father, the 4th Hokage and the Red Death, Minato Namikaze and my old sensei and godmother, Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze. -4 years later. A tall blonde in a dark orange muscle shirt and black ninja pants approached the main gate of Konoha. The figure moved with a very imposing, almost demonic swagger, that moved with such nimble and calculated movements that he could easily be confused for a fox. At almost 5 feet 9 inches and 175 pounds of pure muscle, he was easily the biggest of his age to probably ever go through Konoha. His black pants tapered off into his dark red sandals that had flame markings across the top of his arch. On his upper arms were several tattoos that in fact were storage and resistance seals. He wore ANBU-style combat gloves, with metal plates on the hand that had a 9-tailed fox engraved on the back. The man had shoulder-length blonde hair that tied off into a ponytail in the back, bluish-green painted fingernails, 6 whisker marks on his face and deep blue eyes with metallic black rings expanding out from his pupil, though they were covered up by a pair of dark red reach-around sports sunglasses. Just picture a dark red pair of Oakleys. The man was Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. He had left Itachi not even 3 hours ago. Going to different without Itachi and the others. He had met several very cool people in their travels. He knew he could take care of himself. Hell, he was above Itachi's level when he used the Kyuubi chakra. He was up to 4 tails without any negative effects. After all, demonic chakra can't harm you when you're part demon, which happened about 1.5 years ago. He had known of the Kyuubi the first day away from Konoha, as well as learning about his mother and father. But it wasn't until after he and Itachi had run across 2 missing nin that Naruto turned part demon. He had been fatally wounded by a stab wound to the heart, and the only way to survive was for Kyuubi to basically replace his heart with a demon heart, made of its chakra mixed with what was left of his heart. Ever since then he was slowly getting more powerful. He had figured in about 6 months he could challenge for the position of Hokage, but it would be a waste of his life, so he would hold off on that for right now. Man, it sucks I'll have to be a genin, when I could probably give the old man a run for his money. Oh well, from what Itachi told me, I won't have to wait long to be a jonin. As he neared the gates he began to remember his life before he had left with Itachi. To sum it up, it sucked. Contrary to what most believed, he had friends back then. After he was kicked out of the orphanage at the age of 5, he had made friends with the homeless people that lived in the red light district. Even after he got his apartment he would visit them every other day or so. That was until the Uchiha had killed 2 of the parents in the small group after they tried to defend Naruto. How Naruto hated the Uchiha. If it wasn't for Itachi doing it before he could, it would have been Naruto who would have killed them all, well, except Itachi and Mikoto. Naruto had learned the woman that tried had saved him all those years ago was actually Itachi's mom, and Naruto's mother's best friend. In memory of her giving her life to save him, both he and Itachi had gotten a tattoo of her name, Naruto on his right shoulder along with his father's and mother's name, Itachi on his left along with Shursui. Then there was Sasuke, Itachi's actual little brother and apparently the only survivor outside of Itachi. Itachi had asked him to look after Sasuke and make sure he followed the right path. They had heard from one of Jiraiya's informants that Danzo had been more or less publicly blamed for the slaughter of the Uchiha, and had been set to be executed, only for him to escape the day before. The latest they heard of him, he had joined a group of missing nin, though that was about it. Halt, who goes there? Naruto was taken out of his thoughts by the two Chunin gate guards. He was surprised to see they were Izumo and Kotetsu, two of the people that had always been nice to him in his younger years, though they had probably forgotten about him by now. Hell, he barely recognized himself. After a huge growth spurt thanks to a good diet and becoming part demon, he looked like a mix of himself and his father. Though his new eyes always throws of his looks. Ha, you guys actually have to say it like that? Couldn't you just ask like a normal person? Like, hey, who are you and what are you here for? I think that might work better. Oh, and I'm Naruto Namikaze by the way. Stated Naruto as he continued to walk forward, never even stopping to sign in or even look at the Chunin. Don't worry, I'm going to GG's anyway. If you want you can call the NBU, but it would be a waste of their time. Izumo, is that really him? Asked Kotetsu. I don't know, he disappeared right after the Uchiha incident. I always thought he was killed that night too. Outside the Hokage Tower. Ha, I haven't used the door in 4 years, screw it, I'll use the window. Stated Naruto, and with speed most jonin would kill for, he was up the side of the tower and through the window. Sarutobi was having a slow day. Today was the day that Naruto was supposed to be back, but after all the shit the boy went through in the village before he left with Itachi, he wouldn't be surprised if the young blonde didn't come back at all. After all you've suffered, will you come back? Sarutobi asked himself. Which was why he was surprised when he got an answer from behind him. Don't really have a choice now. Smiled Naruto as he watched Sarutobi spin around too fast that he could swear he heard the old man's neck crack. Who are you and how the hell did you get in here? Questioned Sarutobi, though he was slowly recognizing the figure that had somehow gotten behind him. Blonde shoulder-length hair, deep blue eyes, whiskers, Naruto. The one and only. What's new, old man? You look a lot older than before? Questioned Naruto. I'm fine, my boy. Rapid aging is just one thing you have to worry about when you lead a village. How was your time away? Asked Sarutobi. Could you send the NBU out? I have some things I'd like to stay between us. Questioned Naruto seriously. Sarutobi nodded and gave the signal to leave, only for Naruto to frown. You sent them all out, right, Gigi? Sarutobi gave a questioning look. Yes, they're all gone. Naruto nodded, then in a flash of movement, Naruto was in the corner next to the door, a huge black sword in his right hand with the blunt edge of the giant sword pinning a man to the wall. Who the hell are you and what are you doing in Hokage-sama's office? Questioned Naruto. I am Anu. I don't know all the signals yet. Choked out the NBU. Naruto turned his gaze to Sarutobi, who only nodded. Duck, you really should learn all the signals. Now please leave, I have sensitive information that must be discussed in private. Stated Sarutobi. Right away, sir! Yelled Duck as he shined away. Well, now that that is settled, just how strong are you? And where did you manage to gain that blade? Asked Sarutobi. Well, Itachi said I was low Chunin level in Genjutsu, mid Jonin in Taijutsu, high Jonin to low Kage in Ninjutsu because of my ridiculous chakra reserves. I'm what equals a Chunin in swordsmanship, and I'm pretty good with seals, both making and breaking them down. That's about it for skills. If I were to put myself at a level, I'd say low to mid Jonin. As for the sword, I got it off a fellow swordsman I killed. Answered Naruto with a smile. But my main skill is pure chakra element, and shape manipulation, like the Rasengan. Sarutobi's jaw was on the floor. He knew he had threatened Itachi, but for him to get Naruto this far, was just unbelievable. Plus the fact that Naruto had one of the 7 swordsmen of the Mist Blades, and the splash sword at that, was outrageous. Naruto, I have a gift for all the work you've done, not so much a gift as something you've earned. Sarutobi walked over to a seemingly blank patch of wall and flew through about 50 hand seals before a 2x2 foot portion of the wall glowed blue and disappeared. Sarutobi emptied the small cubby hole and resealed it. He then walked back to his desk and set the contents down on the table. Naruto, this is your inheritance. A deed to your home, the wealth of the Namikaze clan, and from what I can tell, the Uzumaki clan as well. It wasn't supposed to be given to you until you reached the rank Jonin, but I made an exception, seeing as you are clearly at that level. But try not to flaunt it. You still have enemies here, and I would rather not have a pile of dead bodies on your front lawn. No problem, old man. And Itachi already filled me in on the whole team selection thing, so don't worry about me showing off, as I'm going to try to be the dead last of the class so I get teammates that I won't have to carry through missions," admitted Naruto sheepishly. "If you were anyone else I wouldn't allow this, but you're correct in thinking that you will have to carry your team, so I'll have Iruka sabotage your results to make you the dead last. But thankfully, for you anyways, you weren't here for the last 4 years. You would literally have to score 150% to be anything but dead last," stated Sarutobi as he handed Naruto a note. "Academy Room 105, hand that note to Iruka and he will do the rest. I'll see you soon for your ninja registration." -5 minutes later. Alright class, as you all know, today is the Genin test. It will comprise of a written, a taijutsu, a ninjutsu and a target portion," stated Iruka. Just then a man appeared next to him, scaring the crap out of him. "Iruka Yumino? Holy shit, this class must be full of talent for a hunter needing to be the teacher?" asked Naruto. "Naruto? Long time no see. Finally going to become a genin?" asked Iruka. They had met when Iruka had been assigned to tracking down Aoi after he made the younger Marino steal the second's priced lightning sword. "Yeah, but it sucks that I have to do this crap. Anyway, old man gave me this for you, said something about your girlfriend having a mission," stated Naruto as he handed Iruka the slip of paper. Iruka read the paper, then looked to Naruto, then the note. "Alright, go find a seat." Naruto nodded, then appeared next to Kiba and took the seat. "Alright, first portion is a written exam." "Son of a bitch." -45 minutes and one large, head-shaped dent on the table in front of Naruto later. "Okay class, now for the accuracy portion, Shino Abirame. Okay Sasuke, you're up." Sasuke smirked. He had decided long ago to show off. After all, he was an Uchiha, and with only 2 of them left, he needed to prove his worth. For a second he wondered just where his older brother was. He was told that his brother was sent on a long-term mission, but he didn't know how long it would take for him to get back. Sasuke sent that thought to the back of his mind and launched all 10 kunai in one hand and all 10 shuriken in the other. 19 out of 20. Well done Sasuke, as far as I know, only Itachi, Kakashi Hatake and Yondaime-sama have done better," stated Iruka. Sasuke slightly frowned at this. He loved his brother, but he didn't like being compared to him. "Next up Naruto," stated Iruka. "What's up with that kid? Does he have a last name?" Sakura asked Ino, not bothering to quiet her voice. "If you knew my last name, your head might explode. Especially from what your parents told you about me. Especially you Uchiha," stated Naruto, spitting out the name Uchiha as he walked not towards the start line, but the target. "Hey Dobe! You trying to get a higher score by moving closer? That's cheating, you know," stated Sasuke, his horde of fangirls cheering on his coolness. 3 things Uchiha. 1. I'm not a Dobe. In fact, I'm probably better than any sensei any of us get paired with. 2. There is no such thing as cheating when you're a ninja. You take every advantage you can, including making your enemy emotional, poisoning before the fight, the list goes on. And 3. Naruto turned the target dummy around 180 degrees. I'm not cheating, I'm making it way harder. You see, these academy games you play mean nothing to me. Who cares if you can hit a non-moving target while standing still? In the ninja world, you will never get the chance. Your opponent will be moving, and if you stop to throw, you're dead. Naruto throws all 10 throwing stars at once, aiming them about 10 feet over the dummy's head. "Ha! All talk and no game. You missed completely," laughed out Kiba. "Bansho Tenin," whispered Naruto as all the shuriken reversed direction and embedded into the target. "What was that? Something about me being an idiot? You want to explain how that works?" "You cheated. No way you could do better than Sasuke-kun," called some nameless fangirl. "Dumbass, there is no cheating. You think your opponent is going to give 2 shits about cheating? He's not. The truth is that 9 times out of 10, the one that cheats the most will win. Thinking that having a moral code is going to make you better than someone will get you killed," stated Naruto with malice in his voice. "Iruka-sensei. He's lying!" yelled another delusional fangirl. "Who gives a fuck if I lie? I'm a ninja. We lie, cheat, steal and kill. That's what we do," stated Naruto. He then turned Iruka. "What the hell has the council done to the school? If this is how all the classes are, they're going to have a higher mortality rate than Kiri." "What does that mean?" questioned Sakura. "Lord, you people are sheltered. Taijutsu. And finally, Sasuke Uchiha vs Naruto. Prepare to lose, dope. Only an Uchiha can beat an Uchiha, bragged Sasuke. Yeah, except the Senju, Uzumaki, most of Iwa and Root, stated Naruto, gaining a gasp from everyone besides Naruto. I'm going to kill you, dope, yelled Sasuke as he charged the blonde-haired fox. It was over in an instant. Sasuke had barely taken 2 steps before Naruto planted him into the ground face first. Uchiha is just a name. A name that has been dragged through the mud by traitors. Check your ego, you're not all-powerful. Even Itachi has weaknesses, you just have to find them, stated Naruto as he removed himself and started walking away. For all intents and purposes, he's dead, I won. Great Fireball Jutsu. Stupid son of a wait, can't say that one, thought Naruto as he turned around and absorbed the chakra from the jutsu using one of his eyes abilities. Fuck, I've already used it twice today. How is that even possible? Ninjutsu test. Okay Naruto, seeing as this is more of a formality than anything, stated Iruka. Naruto just shrugged and grinned. Give us a clone, a henge and a replacement. In an instant, Iruka and Mizuki were staring at Iruka, and Mizuki sitting behind the desk was 2 Narutos. Both henged as the teachers. There you go. I made a clone, replaced both of you with me and him and henged into you both. Good lord, stated Iruka, remembering when Itachi had done something similar during their exam. What do you expect? I'm a ninja. This is child's play to me. My Jounin instructor better be either Kakashi or Asuma, otherwise I won't have anything to learn. Laughed Naruto. Iruka's sweat dropped and Mizuki got a dangerous glint in his eyes. 10 minutes later, outside. Naruto was sitting in a tree over the academy courtyard. He had nothing to do until team assignment tomorrow, and he had used his mass shadow clone training the week before, so he still had a week before he could do that again, unless he wanted to fry his brain. He thought about visiting Itachi, but dismissed that as Itachi had said he had another mission to do. Then there was Jiraiya. He was in the next town over, running his spy network from a safe house until the Chunin exams. Naruto was taken out of his thoughts by Mizuki as he landed next to the blonde. You know Naruto, even though you got a perfect score, you're still going to be the dead last, stated Mizuki. Good, then I'll get a good team that I won't have to carry, stated Naruto. That's a good way to think of it. Anyways, I was wondering where you learned shadow clones from, questioned Mizuki. A good ninja never tells his secrets, but I'll tell you on one condition. And what would that be? Asked Mizuki in a cheery tone. Why is it you're marked by Orochimaru, and why is it you're trying to get the scroll of sealing so bad? Screw it. Inside of a quarter of a second, Mizuki was tied up and Naruto threw him over the courtyard towards Sarutobi, who was standing next to Iruka. What the dash? Started Sarutobi. He's a traitor. He's marked and he's been in contact with Orochimaru in the past week. He smells like snakes, and he just tried to convince me to steal the scroll of sealing, answered Naruto from the tree. He then appeared in front of Iruka. What are you talking about, demon? Questioned an older version of Sakura. You know I have the right to kill you for revealing an S-class secret, right? Stated Naruto as the older Sakura paled. Well, old man, she lives this time, but warn all the other idiots that I will not hesitate to kill them if they break the law. Also, go ahead and tell them that I won't be teaching anyone anything, and if those 2 idiot teammates of yours try to pull anything, I'll cripple Konoha. -3 hours later, council room. A council call? Something big must have happened, stated Hayashi. Indeed, Naruto Uzumaki has returned, stated some random civilian. Is that the reason for this? Who cares if the kid is back? Other than him scoring a perfect score in the academy exam, who cares? Asked Shikaku. He threatened Konoha, screeched the older Haruno. I doubt that, and even if he did, it's all talk, stated Hayashi. It was no secret that he hated Naruto, but the only stronger than hate is arrogance, which Huiga were born with. No, I did threaten Konoha, but like usual, you members of the council only know half the story and none of the facts, stated Naruto, who had appeared at Sarutobi's side. How would you plan on doing so? You a fresh genin, an amazing genin, but still a genin, stated Inoichi. He didn't hate the boy, he was neutral, like he was to everyone he didn't know. While you're right about me being a genin, that is just my rank, not my skill. As for crippling Konoha, Naruto looked to Sarutobi, who only nodded, though on the inside he was smirking. My true name is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, son of Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki. My mother was adopted by Mito Uzumaki, making me the heir/clan head of the Senju. I am the clan head of the Uzumaki, and seeing as the Namikes are the biggest merchant family in the Land of Fire, if anything is to happen to me, I will leave, and take everything with me, the money, the land rights to most of the village, and of course, every bit of Uzumaki that is in this village. That means the patch the ninja wear and the swirl and the leaf symbol," stated Naruto as he handed out the copies of all the paper that proved everything he just stated. "But Tsunade is the older Senju, so you are not the head of the Senju," stated Hayashi, being he was the first one to get over the shock of all this happening. "Tsunade left the village 10 years ago, and hasn't taken a single mission in any of those 10 years. Meaning the second I complete any mission, I become the clan head of all 3 of those clans," stated Naruto. "Then you're subject to the Clan Restoration Act." "No, I'm not. You see, that act is optional, and I'm already engaged to a beautiful woman, so you lose again. Anything else you want to get off your chest?" asked Naruto. "What do you plan to do with all your inheritance?" asked Hayashi. "None of your business, it's mine and I'll do with it what I want with it. And if you think you can take it away from me, you're dead wrong, literally, seeing as I'm the son of a Kage, and soon to be head of 3 of the 5 most powerful clans in Konoha, I have more leverage than any of you bar the Hokage and maybe Hayashi-sama. Also, seeing that I now own a good chunk of the land and most of the business in Konoha, I hold a civilian council seat," stated Naruto. An uproar started until, surprisingly, Hamura spoke up. "Quite. Namikaze is correct. He now holds a large portion of the council's power," stated Hamura. "However, as he is not of at least Chunin status, he must either choose someone who is of such status as his go-between." Naruto smirked. It was finally time for all that political bullshit he learned to come through. "I will give all my votes to whoever the current Hokage is, and should the hat be passed, all votes will return to me until I either pick a new candidate, or I gain the rank Chunin. Anything else?" No one spoke. "Good, see you after team assignments, GG," stated Naruto as he walked towards the doors. "Oh, and if my heritage is made public, I will know it was someone in this room, and I won't hesitate to either kill you all, or make you wish you were never born," he stated in a tone so cold, and with so much killing intent that the water on the table actually froze, and with that, he left the room. "You civilian fucks better not mess this up," threatened Sim. "I'm not sure even they could fuck this one up. Naruto and by extension Hokage-sama hold more than half the cards. Team 7 will be Sakura Haruno, Sasuke Uchiha, and Naruto. Your sensei will be Kakashi Hatake." "How the hell is she the Kunoichi of the year?" questioned Naruto under his breath, yet still loud enough for almost everyone to hear him. "What was that? Was that an insult? At least I know my last name, Baka. You probably don't even have a family," shouted Sakura. Oh, how wrong she was. "Oh really? What is it then? Because most people have the last name of their father, yet you have your mother's? Could it be that you never met your dad because your mom didn't know which one was your dad?" questioned Naruto, which drew a gasp from the class. "Naruto! That was uncalled for!" shouted Irika, though on the inside he was snickering at the pure truth of the joke. "Why? Because it's true? She insulted my parents, so I returned fire. If she can't keep her head in a classroom, how do you expect her to do in a battle?" questioned Naruto. Irika couldn't find a reasonable response to that. It was good logic. "You take that back, Baka, take it back or I will kill you!" threatened Sakura in a dangerous voice. No one insulted her but Ino, and they were somewhat friends. "If you want me to take it back, then make me," stated Naruto, silently preparing a replacement. Sakura gave a battle cry and charged. She threw a punch at the blonde's head. Too bad for her, Naruto was a master of the replacement jutsu, and she ended up punching Sasuke in the face. "This is going to be a long couple of months." Hokage's office. "Well, I hope Naruto doesn't kill his teammates," stated the old Kage. "Like he could," laughed Kakashi. "Sasuke is the rookie of the year. I still don't know how Naruto scored so high, but I doubt it was skill." "Hell, you don't want him, I'd be glad to take him," stated Asuma. He may have thought it was way too easy to pass the test, but to score perfect on all but the classroom knowledge portion was no fluke. "Nah, he'll make a good balance for Sasuke, plus even if he is as good as those scores say, which I'm sure he's not, Sasuke is still stronger, and he will keep getting stronger." "Are you saying that you're using one student to make another student better?" questioned Kurenai, disbelief in her voice. "It's not like I'll hold him back. I'd love for all my ninja to get stronger. If he's stronger, then it will help the team, but he'll never be stronger than Sasuke. After all, Sasuke and I are a lot alike," stated Kakashi, nose still buried in his book. "Unbelievable." Classroom. Naruto-san, I was wondering where you got those sunglasses, as they look like they function better than the ones I have. Stated Shino, getting a startled look from most of the class, minus Sasuke and Sakura, who were too busy glaring at the blonde. I make them, it's a hobby I have a pair that goes with any outfit I wear. Tell you what, you seem like a cool guy, plus we can relate, seeing as we are the same in at least one aspect. Stated Naruto as he pulled out a scroll and unrolled it. What color are you looking for? Do you have a white or cream frame and dark lenses? Yep, stated Naruto as he unsealed a pair of glasses near the middle of the scroll and handed them to Shino. When you channel chakra to them, the lens cuts down glare, and they stick to your head, like an ANBU mask. Thank you very much, Naruto-san, I shall remember this, stated Shino. Only Irika and Naruto knew how big it was for an Aburame to owe anyone anything. Team 8. Follow me, please. Team 10, come on. I shall see you soon, Naruto-san, and thank you again. Nodded Shino. Naruto nodded and made a clone. Then, without warning, left Hokage's office. Sarutobi was still sitting behind his desk, pondering the Naruto situation. From what Kakashi had said, he wasn't going to weaken the boy, but he wasn't going to help him either. Had it been anyone other than Naruto, he would have put a stop to that, but seeing as Naruto was at least high chunin in skill, he decided he would wait and see just how Kakashi was going to train them. Sarutobi was brought out of his musings when Naruto flashed into his office, literally. Hey old man, wanna go get some ramen? Asked Naruto. I do need a break, mused the aged Kage. I'll go, on one condition: you pay. Deal. Ichiraku ramen. Naruto was already on his 5th bowl, Sandaime was starting his 2nd, and Ayame was stealing glances at the blonde every so often. Although she wouldn't admit it, she was attracted to the blonde now. Hell, if his name wasn't Naruto Uzumaki, he would probably have the attention of most of the female population. So old man, how did the Haruno get Kunoichi of the year? I can tell that she's at most the 3rd best female in the class. The Yamanaka will end up as an average chunin, and if Hinata can get some confidence, she'll be jonin in no time. Asked Naruto, going over every bit of information that Itachi had drilled into his head involving clans and fangirls. Truthfully, the civilians have tweaked and distorted everything they can get a hold of in the power vacuum that appeared when Minato and Kushina died and Tsunade left. Stated Sarutobi, a tear threatening to leave his eye. But thanks to you, now we can start to fix this village. You know I'd have to at least be a chunin for that to happen, right old man? Smirked Naruto. Nice try, my boy. I may have been born at night, but not last night. Smiled the old man. You still need to pass the chunin exam to get promoted, unless you get a field promotion on AB rank or up mission. I thought they eliminated that exception at the end of the 3rd Great War? Questioned Naruto. Oh, they did, but I'm going to bring it back. After all, there's plenty of chunin that have what it takes to be a jounin but just don't have the time to take the exam. Plus, I want you to be a chunin as soon as possible. I'm going to need your help to set the village straight before I hand over the reins and retire. Stated Sarutobi. Finally going to give me the hat, old man? Joked Naruto. Perhaps. -3 hours later. Sasuke and Sakura were sitting bored in the classroom. The Naruto clone had left a while ago, or so they thought. In reality, he was napping in the space between the ceiling and the next floor, and they were now stewing in their own boredom. Team 7? I'm your sensei, Kakashi Hatake. Asked Kakashi as he poked his head through the door, only to see 2, not 3 people. Where's your 3rd member? Asked Kakashi. He got tired of waiting for you and went to get something to eat. Said a somewhat distorted voice behind Kakashi, shocking him greatly, as he hadn't sensed anything behind him. He spun around and saw nothing. Behind you. Kakashi spun around again, but once again saw nothing. Kakashi-sensei? Are you alright? Asked Sakura. Seems that we have a prankster on our hands. Anyway, my first impression is I'm not that impressed. Meet me on the roof in 5 minutes. All of you. What did he mean by that? On the roof. So you know the shadow clone trick too, huh? Guess I shouldn't be surprised. Said a familiar voice next to Kakashi on his blind side. Once again he was shocked at this sudden in-voice. He turned his head so fast that he suffered from whiplash. That's getting annoying, must be guy messing with me, stated Kakashi. After all, only guy was faster than his normal eye. Nope, just the past catching up to you. Stated the same mysterious voice, though now it was much more clear it was Minato-sensei. Sensei, Kakashi uttered in a harsh whisper. You always were the genius of the group, though you never did notice the most important things till it was too late, just like you're going to pass over the diamond in the rough for the polished granite. What do you mean, sensei? Questioned Kakashi, now looking at the ghost-like figure of his sensei and second father, staring into his one coal-colored with the same cold and brutally honest blue eyes as he always had when he was reprimanded by his sensei. The answer is looking you in the face, and yet you are still blind to the truth. Hopefully his eye can open yours, hopefully he didn't die for nothing. Slowly, his sensei faded away, though as he faded another came to view. They had the same blonde hair, same style of clothing, although this one had short sleeves and several tattoos, though what threw the transition of the most was the sunglasses and whisker marks. You alright? You look like you just saw a ghost? Asked Naruto, although he already knew what Kakashi thought he saw. After all, it was his genjutsu. One of the great many things he picked up from Itachi was a knack for incredibly realistic genjutsu. That combined with his world-class chakra control, which was needed for his ninjutsu style, and you got one very convincing genjutsu. You have no idea though, if you would please, may I see your eyes? Asked Kakashi. No, was Naruto's answer. I'll show you mine if you show me yours, stated Kakashi. Unfortunately, this was the same time that Sasuke and Sakura made it to the roof. Naruto noticed them right away, and using his prankster ways and horrifyingly ingenious mind, he went for the kill. No way, pervert. Why would you even ask that? This confirmed, in Sasuke and Sakura's mind at least, that their first assumption was correct. Is that why you were late? Were you spying on little boys? Questioned Naruto. Kakashi's brain lagged a little bit, wondering why wanting to see someone's eyes was perverted. Then he realized the way he had asked sounded rather creepy, and immediately sputtering out what they were really talking about, while Naruto was laughing so hard he thought his sides were about to blow out. Well, now that that's cleared up, why don't we introduce ourselves, things you likes, dislikes, dreams, talents and skills, oh, and don't forget your name. You first, Pinky, stated Kakashi. Usually he would ask the usual Team 7 greeting, though he needed to have an idea of Naruto's skills, especially after what he just saw. Shouldn't you or Naruto go first, sensei? Me and Sasuke have already met each other, stated Sakura, ever the little miss obvious. Alright. My name's Kakashi Hatake. My likes and dislikes are none of your business. My dream is, well, you're a little young to hear that. I have a talent for annoying people, showing up with impeccable timing, and never taking my mask off. My skills are anything lightning chakra, my dog summons, and my awesome hair, stated Kakashi with a nice smile. My hair is way better, stated Naruto. Alright then, you can go next, stated Kakashi, a little edge in his hair. After all, only Minato-sensei ever insulted his hair. Nah. The Uchiha or Haruno can go next. After all, I'm the odd one out here, stated Naruto, wanting to learn more about Itachi's foolish little brother. I'll go, stated Sasuke, Sakura in awe of his coolness. My name is Sasuke Uchiha. I don't really like anything other than training. I dislike almost everything else. My talents are anything ninja related. My skills involve throwing weapons, fire jutsu, taijutsu, and I'm working on genjutsu. And I have no dream, it will become reality. I am going to restore my clan, and I'm going to find my brother, and we're going to kill a certain someone. So he wants to kill Danzo, huh? Wonder if he knows all the facts behind that night. Thought Naruto better start training. Danzo has a whole army, plus he's an S-class criminal. He's no Uchiha. I'll kill him and restore my clan, stated Sasuke as if it had already come to pass. Why is it that every Uchiha is either bat hit, a genius, an avenger, or an asshole? Wondered Kakashi. Naruto just rolled his eyes. Itachi-ni-san, if you could see your brother now, what would you say? And why do you think he'll be any better than your prick if a father? Okay, now you, Pinky. Sakura glared at him for the Pinky comment. My name is Sakura Haruno. She glanced at Sasuke and giggled, making all three men shudder at once, each remembering a past run-in with a fangirl. I dislike Inopig and Naruto Baka. My dream is to another look at Sasuke and another collective shudder. My talents are anything academic, and I guess my skills, well, Mizuki-sensei said I had really good chakra control. That just leaves you, Blondie. Alright. My name is Naruto. You haven't earned the right to know my last name. What I like? I guess you'll just have to figure that out on your own. I dislike rapists, traitors, fangirls, all of IWA and 90% of the Uchiha clan. My dreams? To be Hokage, to surpass a couple of people, both dead and alive, to eat every flavor of ramen, and to find a beautiful girl or 5 to settle down with, stated Naruto, a dumb grin on his face as he remembered a certain busted woman he was already planning to marry. Why don't you like the Uchiha clan? Because they're your betters? Questioned Sasuke smugly. No, I willingly admit that the Uchiha have had some incredible shinobi, Madara, Shursui, Itachi. No, the reason I hate the Uchiha is because they're a clan of thieves, traitors and murderers. Stated Naruto, hate and malice rolling off him in droves. Lies. The Uchiha are noble and great. Countered Sasuke, how could this idiot insult his betters? The Sharingan copies others' hard work. Both Madara and another clan head have headed revolts against Konoha, and the Uchiha clan is the only clan I know of that tried to kill an 8-year-old orphan boy just for being alive. Stated Naruto, his tone, anger and killer intent raising. Liar! The Uchiha would never kill an innocent. Yes, they would, I know because I was that boy. Yelled Naruto, getting a gasp out of all on the roof. You're lying! My family would never do something like that! Shouted Sasuke, standing and confronting Naruto, who also stood up and stood within inches of him, Naruto towering over the young Uchiha. But that's just it, Sasuke. It was your family that did it. It was your father who tried to kill me several times. So much so that I needed ANBU to watch over me. So much so that your mother had to stop him on multiple occasions. Shouted Naruto as he pulled up his sleeve to show the tattoo of Mitoko's name. You're lying. My father would never do something like that. Shouted Sasuke. Ask Kakashi or Itachi, they were the ANBU assigned to me. Well, until Itachi got another mission, but then again, I didn't need to be protected after that, because 2 days after Itachi left, Danzo had your family killed. Stated Naruto, a smirk on his face, showing that he enjoyed that fact. Sasuke turned towards Kakashi, only for him to speak before he could ask. Sasuke, it's all true. Myself, Itachi and several others were assigned to Naruto from the day he was born till the massacre. Your father led many attempts to kill Naruto. In fact, I was supposed to arrest him and several of the men that assisted him in hurting multiple children, including helping a Kumo ninja try to kill off the Hyuga clan, though that was never proven. Why, you're lying! This time it was Sakura who had spoken up. There's no way Sasuke's family would do that. My mom even told me so. She said that I should marry Sasuke because he was the best of the best. Ever think it was because your mom wanted to be part of a powerful family? While the Haruno family is pretty big, it's by no means rich. Maybe she wanted more power. Though I could be wrong. Probably am. But she does know my heritage, and I'd say that when she suddenly tells you at any time to pursue me, well, it just means I'm right. Stated Naruto, before getting up. When do we meet tomorrow and when? Training Ground 7, at 7 o'clock. Got it. Said Naruto lazily, before disappearing in a flash of orange. That was no, it can't be. Saname-sama better fill me in fast. Raged Kakashi before leaving the rooftop in a swirl of leaves. Sakura went from brimming with rage to lusting after Sasuke in absolutely nothing flat. Sasuke-kun, would you want to? No. Hokage's office. Kakashi appeared in the Hokage's office with a look of pure rage on his face, only to see Naruto sitting in front of the Sandaime, a shogi board between them. He really is a good teacher, isn't he? Even Minato couldn't come up with anything like this, especially on the fly as you are. Are you sure you're not part Nara? Questioned Sarutobi. The blonde was incredible. Every time he even got close to cornering him, he would make 1 or 2 seemingly horrible moves, then the 4th, 5th and even 6th would have him cornered and he would have to fight back. Now, bet I could beat most of them though, probably not Shikaku or his kid though, they're special even for Naras. Stated Naruto, eyes never leaving the board. Every move Sarutobi would make, Naruto would make a move almost immediately, showing he was 100 steps ahead easily. What can we help you with, Kakashi? Tell me how you can use that jutsu. Only Minato-sensei could use it, let alone modify it. Stated Kakashi. This kid could only know that jutsu if he broke into the mansion, which was impossible, or the old man gave it to him. What? Still don't recognize me? I thought you were a genius, though you always did miss the most important things. Stated Naruto. Kakashi looked shocked. Hell, he was shocked. That's exactly what Minato-sensei said. Naruto, let me see your eyes. Why? They don't match his, or my mother's. They're nothing alike actually, and just one of my eyes is more valuable than all the Sharingan ever, minus the EMS. Stated Naruto, getting a shocked look from Kakashi. After all, the only eye more valuable than the Sharingan was the Rinnegan. Cried out Kakashi, only for Naruto to look towards Kakashi, pull his glasses down and wink at Kakashi, showing the ripples in his eye and a metallic blue color. You tell anyone I kill them and we have an understanding? Also, you're not my sensei. Old man told me your plan, it's disputable, especially for the star student of the great Yondaime. stated Naruto with disgust in his voice. Besides, there's nothing you can teach me. My genjutsu and ninjutsu are better than yours, and though my taijutsu may not be as good as yours, I can hold my own with most low jonin. And I already know Fuinjutsu, as you know, seeing as I can use Hiruzen, both with a seal and without. Even if you are Sensei and Kushina's son, and you have the Rinnegan, that doesn't mean you're stronger than me. After all, I was an ANBU captain, and I'm the strongest jonin in Konoha. Gloated Kakashi. 1. Just because you have strong parents doesn't mean you're strong, you know that. 2. The Rinnegan alone makes me stronger than you. 3. Even without my eyes I can beat you. You think being an ANBU captain means anything to me? That was 3 years ago, and if you really want to go by that, stated Naruto as he raised his hand and effortlessly made a Rasengan, then phased out the normal chakra with wind, then with lightning, then the Rasengan became blood red. Do that, then I'll consider you good enough to teach me, but in the meantime, I could use a sparring partner. Kakashi was shocked. This kid! He completed the Rasengan. He made a lightning variant. That alone put his chakra capacity and control at near Kage level. Oh, only if Kakashi knew the truth. I win again, old man. Son of a Haruno household. Hey mom, I'm home, called out Sakura. Hey sweetie. How was team assignments? Who was on your team? Asked the elder Haruno. It was not good. I'm with Sasuke-kun, which is good, her mom smiled, but we got stuck with an asshole named Naruto, who was spewing lies about Sasuke's family. The elder Haruno hated that boy, but what the boy said was probably true. Sakura, it pains me to say this, but you need to be nice to that boy. He has a very connected family, and he could probably tear the whole village apart economically if he is treated badly, stated the older Haruno, gritting her teeth as she said it. But how? He's a clueless idiot, he won't even tell us his last name, stated Sakura, wincing as she remembered his comment about her mother. Trust me, Sakura, he's not an idiot, he's not a nameless, clanless orphan, and from the rumors I've heard, he's probably as strong as most Chunin. Hidden cave, river country. Seem my spy network is better. Other than Kabuto, all your idiots keep getting caught, stated a short, hunchbacked man. Shut it, Sasori. He alone is better than all of your spies, and unlike yours, he's willing, and a damn fine shinobi to boot, stated Orochimaru. I cannot deny that. By the way, what do you think of Danzo? You never did tell me, even after all these years. I have a working relationship with him. He's very intelligent, and it helps he let me experiment on him, and gave me these beautiful eyes. Naruto was on his way home after beating the old man repeatedly in shogi, not to mention explaining to Kakashi that he had been training with someone way stronger than him. He didn't like that, seeing as he had been the strongest, second only to Itachi, but no one knew where he was. Then Naruto dropped the bombshell and claimed that he was all around stronger than Kakashi, which really didn't sit well with the lazy jonin. Kakashi had challenged him to back up those words, only for Naruto to laugh in his face. Now Naruto was just entering the gates of the Yuzukaze estate, when he felt the familiar pull. He closed and locked the gates, then flashed away. Valley of the End. Naruto flashed in front of the falls at the Valley of the End, only to see he was the only one there. Alright, who called me? Hello, Naruto-kun. Itachi? Are you telling me you found them all already? Asked Naruto as he watched Itachi emerge from behind the cascading water. No, I have 3 of the 4 left, but there is something you should see, stated Itachi as he walked back into and through the falls. Naruto followed, not sure what to expect on the other side. When he finally broke through the plane of water, he was shocked to see a very well-lit and sealed-off cavern. Who or what the hell is in there? Asked Naruto. I'm not positive, but I believe it's Madara. There's definitely someone laid to rest here that had great power buried here, though this place has been visited in the last 20 or so years, so I don't know for sure, stated Itachi as he and Naruto moved down the tunnel. So have you found them all yet? Asked Naruto. No, so far I have the brothers and the 3rd, hopefully Madara will be in here, if not, well we still have 5 of the 6, right? Joked Itachi, something he picked up from Naruto, though anyone who knew him from before the massacre would have needed a double take. True, but with how big a pain in the ass it was for the first 2, I wanted to have this done ASAP, stated Naruto as he reached the barrier. He removed his sunglasses and observed the barrier. It's all chakra, strange, it's exactly like the one in Yuzu. What does that mean? Does that mean an Uzumaki is buried here? Questioned Itachi, though more to himself than anything. Only one way to find out, Preta path. called out Naruto as he held a palm to the barrier, effectively absorbing the barrier, only for it to seemingly replenish. Do I have to overpower it? The barrier in Yuzushio was just absorbed. Naruto tried again. This time it finally went down. After it was gone, Naruto and Itachi moved forward into the well-lit cavern. Now why are there two coffins? True to his words, there were two coffins, one of red oak, the other of a strange black material, like metal, but it didn't shine. Naruto walked up to the red coffin and found it had the Uchiha crest carved masterfully on it. He opened it, only to find it empty, only hair on the pillow. Meanwhile, Itachi walked over to the other coffin. There were no markings, no symbols, not even a scuff or scratch. He went to open the coffin, and he felt his chakra begin to drain at an alarming rate, along with it going haywire. Naruto-kun, I cannot open this coffin. It drains my chakra much too fast. Perhaps you can? Stated Itachi, before he saw that there was nothing in the coffin Naruto was standing next to. An empty coffin? No, he was here at one point, though not anymore. Do you have any sacrifices I could use for Edo Tensei? There's DNA here. Stated Naruto. Itachi nodded and pulled out a status scroll, used to transport anything living, without it dying. He tossed the scroll to Naruto, who unsealed the body, only to see it was an IWA ninja, near death, so he would have to work quickly. Edo Tensei, called Naruto after preparing both the body and the hair. In an instant, a coffin rose from the earth beneath the room and opened. How am I here? Questioned the figure. Long black hair covering his right eye, his left eye gazing around, almost aimlessly, but Naruto knew better. This man was one of the strongest ever. He was assessing the situation and, more importantly, assessing him. Madara Uchiha. So that was your coffin, but who's in the black one then? Questioned Naruto as he pointed to the black coffin. How did you bring me here? Questioned Madara, who continued to look around, seeing he was in what was to be his final resting place well, until it happened. Madara continued to look around, when he noticed he had two eyes again, only to see his hands were no longer wrinkled. And why am I no longer old? I just summoned you using Edo Tensei, though it seems you know that. Now could you tell me who you share this tomb with? Asked Naruto. I can answer both those questions with one of my own. How did you summon me back from the dead, when I was never dead in the first place? Questioned Madara as he stepped out of the coffin and walked towards the two Konoha nin. What do you mean you never died? I thought that Hashirama killed you when you defected? And if you never died, then why was your DNA in that coffin? Questioned Itachi. I didn't die fighting Hashirama, but he thought he killed me, so as, what I can only guess was a sign of respect, he buried me here. Though I was dying, I never did. I eventually woke up in that coffin, and left this place. I traveled the world, protected Konoha from the outside, and eventually, I became, well, I guess you could call it a shell of my former self. My body gave out, but thankfully I have some of Hashirama's DNA in my body, and I was able to survive by unnatural means until now, when you somehow summoned me with Tobirama's accursed jutsu. Listed off Madara. And seeing as you're my new master, at least for now, what can I do for you? I bought you back so you could serve me, stated Naruto. Obviously, that's the whole point of this jutsu, stated Madara with a sweat drop. Wanna let me finish? I want you to serve as one of my paths, stated Naruto. Madara looked shocked. Path? You can't possibly mean that you have the Rinnegan? Questioned Madara. Naruto nodded and took off his glasses, showing that he did indeed have the Rinnegan, though his was blue, not purple. Your Rinnegan is not normal. How can you be sure that you can use the path jutsu? Summoning jutsu, paths, stated Naruto as he summoned his two paths. Madara, I'd like you to meet my two paths, first my father, and my animal path, Minato Namikaze, 4th Hokage of Konoha. Minato summoned a small red toad with Rinnegan eyes. And my Naraka path, and also my mother, Kushina Uzumaki. Kushina then healed Itachi of his minor chakra exhaustion and the chakra burns on his palms. Madara Uchiha? Naruto, is this who you plan to have as the Deva path? Questioned Minato. He had the Rinnegan as well, though his was purple. The only piercing he had was in his right ear, same as Kushina. You're a path? How do you have a consciousness? And how do you have only one piercing? Questioned Madara. When he attempted his own paths, it was nothing like this. I revived them and then made them paths. It was rather simple, yet a pain in the ass to pull off. So what do you say, Madara? Will you join willingly? I give you back your soul and you will have basically free will, as long as it doesn't interfere with my plans? Or will you deny, in which case I'll kill you and use your body, where you will once again be dead? Asked Naruto. Seems the only choice I really have is to join willingly, though I do wish to know who the other paths will be. Hashirama will be the human path, Tobirama will be the Preta path, and the third Raikage will be the Azura path," stated Naruto. So I will, for all intensive purposes, be alive. I will be able to do whatever I want, fight however I want, and all I have to do is allow you to boss me around and follow some guidelines?" questioned Madara. "That's the gist of it. Hell, I'm only planning on summoning you if I'm in trouble. Other than that, you don't even have to be in the same country as me," stated Naruto. "Oh, and you won't age. The jutsu seems to put the body on a type of status. You'll get to use any jutsu you could before, plus my gravity manipulations." "And what if I already have the Rinnegan?" questioned Madara. He closed his eyes and a second later opened them, revealing the purple and black ringed eyes. Next morning, Training Ground 7, 7 o'clock. Sasuke and Sakura walked into the clearing that was Training Ground 7, only to find their mysterious third teammate already there. Normally, this wouldn't be anything out of the ordinary, except for the fact that there were more Narutos than they could ever hope to count to, and they were all doing something different. One group was floating, another group using chakra, another group were fighting while pinballing around trees, yet another group was reading from scrolls, and so on and so forth. "Hey Dobe! What are you doing?" yelled Sasuke, but grew pissed off when none of the Narutos responded. "I'm talking to you," yelled Sasuke as he walked over to one of the groups. "Why aren't you answering, Sasuke-kun?" asked Sakura, though she refrained from yelling, or screeching, as other people called it, the combination of fear and her mother's instruction keeping her head level for now. "Because he was asking for someone named Dobe, seeing as none of us are named that, including Boss, we didn't answer him," stated a clone that didn't take his eyes off the book he was reading. "Know your betters, Dobe. I'm an Uchiha, an elite," stated Sasuke. "Once again, no idea who this Dobe is, but if you forgot what Boss said yesterday, you may be an Uchiha, but the Uchiha are not elite, not even close," stated another clone. Are any of you the real Naruto, or is he somewhere else?" asked Sakura, more than a little mad that someone would talk down to her Sasuke-kun like that. "Oh, Boss is in that tree," stated another clone, pointing to a tree on the other side of the clearing. "He didn't get much sleep last night, so he catching up. Word of advice, don't wake him up." "And why wouldn't I? I can do whatever I want," stated Sasuke smugly. He ran over to the tree and climbed up it with his hands and feet. The clones just shrugged and started dispelling. Sasuke looked around. He finally found Naruto, just as the clone said, sleeping on one of the bigger branches. Sasuke made his way up, until he was on the same branch as the blonde. "Wake up, Dobe, you're going to fight me." Naruto didn't respond, so he did the logical thing for most Uchiha, he went to punch him in the face. Only problem was, even though Naruto was asleep, he still had danger senses that A and BU could only dream of. As Sasuke's fist was about an inch away from connecting, Naruto caught at his wrist, and broke it cleanly. "Wrong move, Sasuke." And with that, Naruto pushed him back, sending him out of the tree and into the air, about 75 feet in the air, in the middle of the clearing. Sasuke was free falling. He had already righted himself so he could land in his feet, but it would still most likely break his legs. In a blur of movement, Sasuke was safely on the ground, Kakashi still holding on to him. "Naruto! Get down here now!" shouted Kakashi, rage filling his voice. Naruto appeared in a flash in front of Kakashi. "What the hell were you thinking? Endangering a teammate? You broke his arm and then threw him out of the top of a tree." "Fuck him, that idiot threw a punch at me while I was sleeping, so I reacted. This is the real world, Hataki. You fuck up, you get hurt. And from what I've experienced, attacking someone who could kill you, literally with one finger, is a bad mistake," stated Naruto with an even and emotionless tone, reminding both Kakashi and Sasuke of Itachi. "Or would you rather I had just killed him, like the rest of the people dumb enough to try to hurt me while I slept? You're a disgrace to your father's memory. How would he feel if he knew you acted like this?" questioned Kakashi dangerously. "Proud I became a real shinobi, one that isn't a fool, one that isn't weak, and one that isn't a coward. I fight for what I believe in, and if a few broken bones teaches someone that there are people out there that are better than them, all the better," stated Naruto with the same, emotionless voice. "Your father was a great man, something someone like you will never understand," stated Kakashi. "At least when my father killed himself, it was for the good of the village," stated Naruto. Kakashi froze. That was a low blow, but it didn't piss him off, it saddened him. "Father, Minato-sensei, is he right? Could I have helped Obito more? Could I have helped Rin more? Are you going to start the test, or are you going to sit and mope that I hit a sore spot?" questioned Naruto. Kakashi knew that he had overreacted to the situation. After all, he had heard that Tsunade once punched Jiraiya out of a tree. And his own sensei had pushed him off a branch after he had gone off on Obits over something stupid. But no, he was questioning his mental fortitude. New plan. I will he fighting Naruto one-on-one. Should he beat me, I will take him, and him alone, as my apprentice. Sasuke and Sakura, you will be trying to get these bells off my belt. If you get these before Naruto beats me, you're my new team and Naruto will be sent to the academy. Should none of you achieve your objective, you will all be sent back. Stated Kakashi. This would allow the two a chance to pass, and still keep the bell test complete. You have 3 hours, starting now. Sakura and Sasuke shot out into the woods, leaving Naruto and Kakashi in the center of the clearing. Bad choice, Kakashi. I can wipe the floor with those two. And if you use your Sharingan, I'll use my borrowed power as well, then I'll mop the floor with you. I'm an elite Jonin, I don't need this eye to beat you. Let's see if you're as good as you say. Kakashi took off at full speed. Lesson 1, Taijutsu. Naruto effortlessly blocked a 6-strike combo, and retaliated with a triple kick to Kakashi's ribs. Kakashi got battered by the 3 kicks, but managed to catch one of them and pin Naruto's foot. Bad idea. With balance, speed and agility that was almost unheard of, Naruto spun and landed a kick to Kakashi's inner knee, one to his left shoulder and one to his head. Kakashi fought off the 3rd kick and caught Naruto's other leg, both feet now pinned under Kakashi's armpits. Naruto planted both palms on the ground, and with every ounce of power he had, picked Kakashi up off the ground, flipped him over and slammed his head into the ground. Kakashi quickly witches with a log before impact and the log shattered into a million little pieces. Guess that means we're on to the ninjutsu lesson, huh Kakashi? That was incredible. He used combos to move me into position, then used power and flexibility to surprise me and use my own defense against me, thought Kakashi, though his thoughts were stopped from going any farther when he heard a slight whistling sound to his left. Thunk thunk thunk. Poof. With Sasuke. Sasuke was fuming. Here was Naruto, roughly his age, who had the audacity to insult his family, and now he was crude enough to actually be better than him. He was an Uchiha, the best of the best. And here, some nameless, clanless nobody was picking apart one of the strongest ninja in the village like it was nothing? And he couldn't even pick up most of their movements. Dobe, you will give me your power, and then I'll kill you, and everyone else on my way to Danzo. He sure likes killing logs, doesn't he? I wonder what he has against the log? Stated a voice behind Sasuke. Sasuke spun around, kunai in hand, only to see Naruto, or a clone of Naruto, seeing as the Naruto that had been fighting Kakashi still hadn't moved from his spot, right hand glowing green. Let me heal that arm of yours. And why are you helping me? Questioned Sasuke angrily. It was painfully obvious to the Uchiha that this blonde was strong enough to at least hold his own against the world-class Jonin, which pissed him off. Because 1, you're the son of the woman who saved my life more times than I can remember, 2, I was the one that broke your arm, and 3, I'm going to. Back to the fight. Very well, lesson 2, ninjutsu. Stated Kakashi as he blurred through hand seals. Fire style, fire dragon jutsu. Preta path, whispered Naruto as he held a hand up and absorbed the blazing dragon. Bansho Tenin, he whispered again. This time Kakashi started to be pulled to Naruto. But Kakashi wasn't a Jonin for nothing, and flashed through the 3 hand signs for his first original jutsu. Naruto's face stayed impassive, as he put his hand up and started swirling chakra into it. Let's see who's lightning stronger. Chidori. Lightning Rasengan. The 2 jutsu collided and began a brief power struggle. Keyword brief. About a half a second after the collision, lightning started sparking out of Naruto's hand, his Rasengan blowing past the Chidori, causing an explosion that sent Kakashi flying back. Naruto stayed perfectly still, thanks to his masterful control over gravity. Kakashi slowly got to his feet after sliding across the ground. He's beat me in taijutsu and ninjutsu. I'm okay at genjutsu, but I need Obito's eye to see through anything he throws at me. I just hope he was bluffing when he said he could use that chakra. Lesson 3, Genjutsu, stated Kakashi as he pulled his headband up, revealing his Sharingan to the world, or at least to Sasuke. Bad move, Kakashi, you should have heeded my warning. Stated Naruto as almost instantly 4 tails shot out and a dark red cloak of chakra coated his entire body. Now you get to see what I can really do. With speed even Guy would have trouble with, Naruto raced toward Kakashi and planted a fist into his gut, folding him like a bad hand in poker, then sending him flying back through the forest. Though Naruto wasn't about to let that happen, in another burst of pure speed, Naruto caught Kakashi and pinned him against another tree. This is 4 tails, I can control up to 6, and I can go up to 8. Now you still think you're stronger than me? Kakashi was terrified. This genin was easily his level, and he totally outclasses him when he uses Kyuubi chakra. While he himself needed the Sharingan to compete at his highest level, Naruto was already mid-Jonin in skill without Kyuubi chakra, and at the same age as he was when he made Jonin. Hey, guess I was wrong. Not really the first time. You are strong, Naruto, and your mother and father would be proud, so am I. And with that, Kakashi passed out. Naruto reverted back to normal, some light burns on his skin from Kyuubi's chakra, though they were no more than one would get from being out in the sun too long. Maybe I'm ready for another tale? Wondered Naruto out loud as he carried Kakashi back to the clearing. Minus 45 minutes later. Kakashi slowly awoke, every inch of his body throbbing in pain. He looked up and saw that Sasuke and Sakura were both holding bells. Naruto was doing vertical push-ups. Well, looks like I'm taking Naruto on as an apprentice. I smiled Kakashi, baiting them into a failure. Though he really wanted to fail the Uchiha, he may have been the last of Obito's family, but he was nothing like his dead teammate. Nope, you're taking them. They got the bells from you before I beat you, stated Naruto as he continued his push-ups. Kakashi took a moment to marvel the young man's strength and balance. Sensei, I know I've messed up before, Obito, Rinyu and Kushina, but I'm going to make it up the best I can by making Naruto the strongest he can possibly become. And when was this? Questioned Kakashi. When I punched you in the gut, I took them before you flew away, and tossed them to Sasuke. They achieved their objective before I did, stated Naruto, even though he was having second thoughts about skipping out on Kakashi. He had reconciled with him, and even though there was really nothing he could teach him, he would be a good friend. Well then, congratulations Sasuke, Sakura and Naruto, you passed the bell test, stated Kakashi. Though he didn't show it, he was ecstatic that Naruto had figured out the bell test, even when the weight of the entire test was dropped on his shoulders. Both Sakura and Sasuke questioned. It was a teamwork test. Naruto did all the work, but he did it for the team, so you pass, though we'll be doing our share of team-building exercises, stated Kakashi. Sasuke just smirked smugly. He didn't even have to do any work, and he still passed. Then he remembered the two jutsu that Naruto used, the spinning ball and that weird cloak thing. Dobe, teach me those jutsu. Naruto didn't respond, instead he just walked toward Kakashi. This made Sasuke fume. Listen to me, damn it. I'm your better. You're going to teach me those techniques. Who are you talking to, Uchiha? My name still isn't Dobe, you're not my better, and there's no way in hell I'm teaching you any of my jutsu, not like you could learn them anyway, stated Naruto. How dare you continue to talk down to me? I'm an Uchiha. I'm from a clan that can learn any jutsu just by watching someone do it, and you will teach it to me, or else, threatened Sasuke. I'm not talking down to you, I'm talking to you at the level you deserve. And even if you had the Sharingan, which it's obvious that you don't, you couldn't copy my jutsu anyway. They're pure elemental and shape manipulation, no hand signs for you to copy, and I only used 2 jutsu against Kakashi. And just what could you ever do to me? Stated Naruto. Impossible. The Sharingan can copy any jutsu. And you used 3. The swirling ball, that wired absorption, and that red cloak thing that increases your speed and power, shouted Sasuke. No one had talked down to him other than Itachi. Naruto looked dumbfounded. Hadn't this kid heard of a Jinchuriki before? Hell, he's the son of Naruto's one-time #1 enemy. He should know that he held Kyuubi. Fuck off, Uchiha. I'm not teaching you Rasengan. It's impossible for you to use the absorption jutsu, or any other jutsu I know, and you can't even use the other jutsu. Fine. I'll get someone else to teach me. And I'm going to make your life a living hell until you give me what I want, stated Sasuke, who then stormed away, planning on going to the elders. They usually gave him what he wanted. He could easily get a jutsu or 2. Sakura decided to follow the brooding Uchiha. She was worried that he might do something he would regret. The only people in the world that know Rasengan is me and Pervy Sage. Unless you do, Kakashi. Kakashi nodded his head. You teach him the Rasengan or any other of my father techniques, and I'll kill you, and him. You got that? Wouldn't dream of it. Besides, he's nothing like what I had hoped. I just hope that the council doesn't force you to teach him the jutsu you finished, stated Kakashi with noticeable concern in his voice. They won't. I own half this village, and the only idiots that even like the kid are new Jonin and lower, and I can take care of them. You didn't even get to see my genjutsu, smiled Naruto as he walked out of the training ground, motioning Kakashi to follow him. Just who was your last sensei? Questioned Kakashi. Naruto just grinned, pulled out a piece of Pocky and turned back towards his destination, eating the chocolatey goodness. What do you mean you won't give me those jutsu? I've always gotten what I wanted. Why can't I have 3 jutsu? Challenged an irate Sasuke. He had been arguing for the last 5 minutes, and they still wouldn't give him a straight answer. Well, the Rasengan is a Kage-classified technique, and the only one alive that could teach it is Jiraiya. This absorption jutsu, we have absolutely no ninjutsu like that. The only people known that could absorb jutsu like that were the Uzumaki, and no one knows how they did it. Then this red cloak that boosted speed and strength, the only thing I could think of is, stated Homura. Sasuke had come to him, complaining that he was being held back. That is not a jutsu. Come with me, Sasuke, this will help you understand. Minus 35 minutes later. And just why am I here again? If I remember correctly, this is the second time we've been called to meet this week? Questioned Hayashi, not that he minded. In fact, he loved these meetings. He usually gets what he wants, or just gets to flex his political muscle, which was the only thing he took any pride in these days, as his oldest daughter was weak, and Hanabi was still too much like his dead wife, but he would get her away from that soon enough. Yes, and why is the civilian council missing? Usually when they're not here something individual related has arisen, stated Chuza. Right you are, Chuza. My old teammate has brought up something that I believe should be shared with all of you at this table, stated Sarutobi Kamon and Naruto. Everyone turned towards the door, awaiting the entrance of the blonde. It wasn't surprising to any of the clan heads that Naruto was the cause of the meeting. Sasuke, who was sitting in a guest chair on the abandoned civilian side, stared at the door as if the very wooden fibers were holding back what was rightfully his. Man, he sure likes taking his time, said a voice near the back of the room. Most agreed until they actually turned around, only to see said blonde staring intently at the door. Okay, now he's just being a dick. Naruto-san, how exactly did you get in here? My insects informed me that you were not in the room when we started, and there was no chakra flare that would incite and transportation jutsu. Also, I was wondering if I could get glasses like you gave my son? Questioned Shibi. Most of the room was stunned that Naruto had gotten in unnoticed, though everyone was surprised by just how many words came out of Shibi's mouth. Like most of his clan, he was quiet and logical. In that order, I teleported in. I used my own version of the Hiraishin jutsu, which is basically the Hiraishin without a seal array. And what color would you like? I have most of them, except the color that I wear and that Shino has. The entire room gasped. A 13-year-old can use the Hiraishin? And without the kunai? Black frames? Questioned Shibi. Naruto pulled out the scroll and unsealed a pair of black-framed sunglasses and handed them to Shibi. Naruto then rolled up the scroll and placed it back in his vest. Now that fashion time is over, may we please get to the point of this meeting? Questioned Hayashi, clear disdain in his voice for what everyone else in the room thought was for wasting his time. May I ask Uzumaki, just how does that work? Shunshin uses chakra to boost speed to a high degree, and from what I've gathered, Hiraishin is a space-time jutsu. Quite simple really. The body adapts to certain jutsu over time. Like how Samachiha could use B-rank fire jutsu with no hand seals, or how Tobarama-sama could do the water dragon with only the dragon hand sign instead of the 40 to 45 hand signs most require. Now all of you know about my condition that gives me healing capabilities. Well, that helps me adapt to jutsu quicker. There was a time when I relied almost solely on the Hiraishin, and it allowed my body to adapt to it. Now, all I need to do is flood the area with my chakra and I can transport almost anywhere. Though for any distance more than about 50 feet, I still need the seal, stated Naruto. Maybe a year ago it was 50 feet, but they don't need to know that. Amazing. To think that jutsu could be any deadlier than when Minato used it, stated Koharu. The old woman never did like the blonde-haired man much, though it wasn't for lack of trying, they just never saw eye to eye. She had just become too cold and unforgiving in her old age, mostly from the loss of her lover, and then her son not long ago, leaving her granddaughter Moegi as the only thing left in her world that held any true value to her. Now that that's settled, may I ask why I've been called here? I was working on a new jutsu, and I'd like to get back to it, stated Naruto. Most of the council was once again surprised. With a lightning variant to the Rasengan and Hiraishin, Naruto was already near his father's moveset, and he was working on even more jutsu? Ah yes, Homura? Questioned Sarutobi. Ahem, it has come to my attention that Naruto-sama. Naruto glared at the old man. Naruto-san? Naruto nodded. Has several very high rank and unknown jutsu in his arsenal, including an elemental Rasengan, and some form of jutsu that can absorb other jutsu. Also, it seems he can use that chakra, stated Homura. Is this true? Can you use its chakra? And if so, are there any ill effects or any chance that the seal is breaking? Asked Sim. She knew better than to be anything less than respectful to the blonde teen. After all, he screamed alpha, and even being a high Jonin level in her own right, she could tell that this teen could defeat her like child's play. Yes, I've been trained to use it. I can use up to 6 tails and stay in control, though at that level of Bijou chakra I can't use jutsu, as I have not used that chakra enough to have anything more than genin level control, If it's a situation where I'm alone behind enemy lines, I can go to 8 tails, but I don't have control at that amount of power," stated Naruto as he took the Namikaze seat and put his feet up on the Uzumaki seat, which were at the end of the table, facing the other council members. "Is the tail amount proportionate to the beast?" questioned Shikaku, not bothering to lift his head from his arms. "No, but as I've assessed myself at around low to mid jonin when relying on my own skills, when I use 1 tail I shoot to mid to high jonin, at 3 tails I'm around low kage, and at 6 tails I'm on par with Gigi in theory, except for the fact I would be all Tai or Kenjutsu at that point, and in a non-related incident, I found out that I can kill Orochimaru at 4. Which is also how many I used in my Genin test versus Kakashi," stated Naruto. Everyone in the room other than Sasuke gasped, while Sasuke continued to seethe. "Wait. You said you used 4 tails versus Kakashi, yet no one outside of your training ground felt it. Why?" questioned Sim. "Easy. I have mastered the 4-tail state, to the point I don't even transform anymore. Along with this total control, I can block off Kyuubi's hatred and malice if I want, which I did at the training ground. If I hadn't, half of Konoha would have been there in minutes looking for a fight." "How do you know that you can kill Orochimaru? He is said to be the strongest Sannin?" questioned Inoichi. He was never a big Naruto fan. He had once used the mind-body swap on him when he was younger to examine his mental health. And he had almost lost his life when Naruto's very mind attacked him. Ever since then he had been wary of the boy. "Ha, Jiraiya is by far the strongest, I should know, he's my godfather and has taught me much," stated Naruto. He hated it when his friends and family were bad-mouthed. "As for Orochimaru, I've put him in a near-death state before, only for him to be rescued by his teammate. I was attacked by him and his partner Sasori of the Red Sand about a year ago, right after I reached my 5th tail state and could somewhat control it. I almost killed the snake bastard, but Sasori saved him." "You fought off Orochimaru and Sasori of the Red Sand alone? And survived? I don't believe you," stated Hayashi. He refused to believe a 13-year-old had that type of power. "I wasn't alone, I was with my sensei, who was the reason we were attacked in the first place. And as to who my sensei is, it is classified information until he or she gets back to the village," stated Naruto. "Any other questions?" "What's this absorption jutsu? Is it anything like the legendary Uzumaki jutsu, or is it something else?" questioned Sarutobi, though he already knew the answer. As Naruto had told him, he needed to put on a show. "Sorry, old man, clan secret." Sasuke had finally had enough, and exploded. "How come you have all these powerful jutsu? Why were you given advanced training, when I wasn't? Why is Jiraiya your godfather when he could be mine? What chakra are you relying on, and why don't I have it? What makes you think you're better than the Uchiha?" Now everyone in the room was staring at Sasuke with alarm. This was the boy everyone believed to be the golden child. He was just a spoiled brat. Naruto, however, was pissed. "Everything you're about to hear, Sasuke, and everyone in this room, is an S-rank secret. Should any of you spread this, I will kill you, and every person you told. Understood?" stated Naruto in an unerringly calm yet rage-filled voice. Everyone nodded, including Sasuke. After all, even if he did tell someone, he was an Uchiha, so he wouldn't get in trouble anyways, or so he thought. "I was born October 10th, and I was part of the reason that Kyuubi attacked. My mother Kushina Uzumaki held Kyuubi before me, and during my birth, there was an incident, causing Kyuubi to be released and my mother to die. My father, Minato Namikaze, the 4th Hokage, finally defeated the beast, but not by killing it. He sealed it into me, making me the 3rd Uzumaki to hold the 9-tailed fox. Before they died, my parents left a will, stating that I was to gain everything that they both owned, meaning all the Uzumaki assets, all the Namikaze land, and because Tsunade, my godmother, had left the village, control of the Senju estate, as my mother had been adopted by Mito Uzumaki Senju, before my mother took over for Mito Bachan as the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi. Jiraiya was made my godfather by my father, seeing as he was his sensei, and was also the one to name me. I hold the Kyuubi because only an Uzumaki can hold the 8 or 9-tailed beast. There is a clan in Kumo that with the help of a special seal can hold the 8 tails, but that's about it." "Mito-sama and Kushina-sama were Jinchuriki?" sputtered out Triza. "Why didn't we know this?" "The same reason that no one of my generation knows I hold Kyuubi. The host of the Kyuubi has been guarded by a set of laws ever since Mito was made the first ever Jinchuriki, laws that are only a year younger than this village. The only reason anyone knows about my being a Jinchuriki is because all the clan heads were informed the night of my birth, and the Uchiha spread the word to get back at my father, who had beat out not only Orochimaru, but Hayashi Hyuga and more importantly Fugaku Uchiha for the title of 4th Hokage. Ever since that day, the Uchiha have had a contract out on my head," stated Naruto. Most of the council had very little trouble believing this, as the Uchiha had always seen anyone stronger than them to be a threat, and it seems Sasuke is no exception. I was taken out of the village about a week before the Uchiha massacre, because Fugaku Uchiha had almost managed to kill me. I was removed from my own protection, and a week later, when Danzo realized I couldn't be a personal weapon anymore, something he was rather adamant about, due to the fact I was no longer in the village and it was unknown where I was, he killed off the Uchiha as payback for ruining his plans. Stated Naruto. This time, most everyone believed what he had said. After all, Danzo was linked to many kidnappings and other inhumane acts, so you see, Sasuke, I am better than you. I'm the heir to 3 clans, I hold somewhere between 25 to 50% of the land and wealth of Konoha, as well as being the son of not only Kushina Uzumaki, an S-class ninja, but also Minato Namikaze, the only man ever besides the Sandaime Reikage and Hashirama Senju to gain an SS-class rank. I'm better than you in every way, and I'll never give you any of my jutsu. Stated Naruto, defiance clear in his voice. Sasuke seethed once again, but was smarter than to try anything. After all, if even half the stuff he said was true, then he was much more important than him as an individual, not the whole clan, but more important than him. After all, Naruto was the son of 2 Kage-level ninja, and he was for sure stronger than him for now. Sasuke got up without a word and left the room. I'll go to every jonin in the village and ask for training. And I'll read every high-ranked scroll in the Uchiha library. I'll become stronger than you, Naruto, and then I'll kill you and everyone else that has ever held me back. Then I'll kill Danzo and rebuild the Uchiha clan and make it better than everyone else by taking over all 3 of your clans. As the doors closed, Naruto spoke up again. Now that the spoiled little brat is gone, there's something I want to give all the clan heads. -2 months later. Team 7 had been taking 1D rank a day for almost 2 months now. At first Sasuke had hated them, until Naruto stated that the Uchiha should quit complaining, use them for training, whether lifting heavy objects to build strength, painting as fast yet cleanly to work on speed and control, picking weeds as fast as you see them to work on reflexes, or even catching the damn cat to work on cardio and speed. Which is what they had just got done doing, catching the cat for the 17th time in their young ninja careers. Sasuke hated to admit it, but the blonde was right. As soon as he had started using every mission as some form of training, he had started growing stronger, faster, quicker and more controlled at an impressive rate. And as a hidden benefit, the teamwork of Team 7 had skyrocketed, going from almost non-existent to spotless over the last 2 months. Team 7, returning Tora. Stated Kakashi lazily. He had been thinking that he would get AC rank next. Even Sakura was starting to get fed up with D ranks, and their teamwork was easily high enough. Wow, new record again. Team 7 now owns the top 10 spots on the Tora board. Even Kakashi's team hadn't had all the top 10 at once. You should be very proud of yourselves, stated Sarutobi, though he knew as well as anyone that the team was a one-man show, and if it were anyone but Team 7 or the Hokage, they would say that Sasuke was the cause of the records, though everyone important knew it was Naruto. Old man, how old is that cat? Pervy Sage told me it was his first mission, and that was almost 40 years ago. Stated Naruto. There have actually been several tourists. They all seem to have the same tendency to escape the Fire Daimo's wife. Stated Sarutobi with a chuckle. Hokage-sama, I would like to request AC rank for my team. I feel that they're more than ready. Stated Kakashi lazily. Irika's eyes widened, but he knew better. After all, Sasuke was the Rookie of the Year, and he knew from personal experience that Naruto could handle a jonin. After all, he did kill Aoi. Alright, you will be guarding a bridge builder, and the bridge he is building should take about 2 weeks to a month. Come on in, Tazuna. A rather fat, drunken man had come in from the waiting room. The smell of sake and oak filled the room. These are the brats that are supposed to be guarding me. I'm the super bridge builder, Tazuna. You 3 look like you couldn't even beat a paper bag, especially the blonde. Stated Tazuna, as he took a swig of his sake, only to realize it was no longer in his hand. He looked up to see Naruto holding the jug. You're drunk. It's a violation of your contract. We need to wait until you are sober to start this mission, otherwise you will be a hindrance to the mission. We will leave tomorrow morning at the earliest. What do you think, Kakashi? Questioned Naruto, surprising everyone in the room with his authoritative tone. We'll leave from the east gate at 7:30 tomorrow morning. Until then, you're free to do whatever, but be in condition to start the mission tomorrow. Stated Kakashi as he gave the blonde a look that told him to stay and chat. After everyone other than Naruto, Irika, Sarutobi and Kakashi left, Naruto spoke up. What do you need, Kakashi? Do you think that you're capable of leading this team? Questioned Kakashi intently. Yes, I have the strength, and I can keep a calm head during stressful times. Stated Naruto. Good, then you are now my team captain. Should I ever be inactive, you will be the leader of this squad and you will have input on every major issue. See you at the gate tomorrow, stated Kakashi with an eye smile, right before proofing away. Well then I guess I'll see you later, old man Irika. Next day, road to Wave. So Tazuna-san, how come you hired Leaf Shinobi? Doesn't Wave have ninja? Asked Sakura, trying to break the silence that had permeated the mission so far. To everyone's surprise, it was Naruto who answered. Wave no longer has ninja. Up until the beginning of the Second Great Shinobi War, Wave had a form of agreement with a nearby island nation that was said to be just as strong, if not stronger than any of the elemental nations. They were wiped out by a joint attack by Kiri, Kumo, Grass, Rice and IWA. It was a battle that lasted almost 7 days, and cost the 5 countries that attacked a huge portion of their ninja, so many that Kiri, Grass and Rice vowed out of the war. Hell, the losses in Rice were so bad that they no longer even have a ninja program. Through the village was wiped out, and almost every one of its people killed, the rest scattered across the world. I know 3 or 4 ended up in Konoha, at least 1 in Kumo, and the rest went to Kiri or AIM. Ever since then, Wave has relied in Konoha or Kiri. Spot on. How do you know all that? Almost all of the world has forgotten Yuzushio? Asked Tazuna, eyeing the genin. If the young blonde knew that much, he might know of the trouble in Wave. My mother was one of the survivors of the attack, and while she was young, she wrote it all down in a scroll. I found the scroll one day, read it, and now I know what happened to my clan and my former village, stated Naruto in a sad voice. He cringed when Sakura started to speak. You're lying. If that happened, we would have learned about it in the academy. Plus you don't even have a last name, how could you be from a clan? Questioned Sakura, earning a groan from Naruto, Kakashi and strangely enough Sasuke. Tazuna started fearing for his life. If she was that ignorant, she could easily lead to his death. The reason it isn't in Konoha history books is because 15 years ago, the civilian council had it removed after an incident involving a member of the civilian side trying to get the 4th Hokage to marry her. When he refused, and instead started dating a former member of that village, the civilian called in all her favors to have the clan and their village erased from Konoha history, stated Kakashi. How do you know that place even existed in the first place? Questioned Sakura. She was never wrong in the academy, and every time she was proven wrong now she refused to believe it. Simple. The 4th was my sensei and like a father to me after mine passed. While he dated her, she was like a mother to me, and she showed me everything about the old country. I even went there with sensei and her before the Third Great War broke out, stated Kakashi. Right, I'll just ask my mom when I get home, she's on the council, she would know if that really happened, stated Sakura smugly. I'm sure she would know, seeing as it was her that caused my clan's name and village to be forgotten, stated Naruto with hatred clear in his voice, getting a shocked, then angry look from Sakura. Why would my mom do that, huh? You're all just lying because you can't handle the fact that you're wrong, stated Sakura. Naruto was about to go ballistic on the pink-haired bitch, only to notice the puddle they just passed start to ripple, before 2 masked men, clothed in black robes with a metal gauntlet on opposing hands appeared and charged at Kakashi. Naruto shoved Sakura out of the way, before charging up a normal Rasengan in his hand and flashing away, right as Kakashi was torn into pieces by the masked men. One down, the one on the right said, his voice somewhat distorted by the mask he was wearing. 3 to go. Rasengan! Shouted Naruto as he flashed behind the second masked man and shoved the swirling ball of death into the back of the man's skull, effectively exploding the man's head in an instant, covering the surrounding area with blood and bits of brain. Brother! You'll pay for that. Screw the old man, I'm going to kill you! Shouted the still-living masked man, only for Naruto to once again flash out of sight and reappear behind the black-cloaked ninja. One hand shot out and grabbed the man by the neck, the other hand resting atop his head. Naruto whispered something and pulled what looked like a thin, smoky white, translucent body out of the man. It was the most sickening sight any of the people present had ever seen. After a moment, Naruto's eyes hardened. You both deserve to die, you're horrible human beings, stated Naruto, who then looked to the bridge builder. You can come out now, Kakashi, there's something you have to know about this mission. It's no longer AC rank, stated Naruto. Almost instantly, Kakashi was next to Naruto, picking chunks of skull and brain out of his vest and hair. Impressive, Naruto, though you really didn't need to do that, says the man who stabs his hand through people's hearts, stated Naruto, who then turned his head back to Tazuna. You lied, old man, you have ninja after your life. This is B rank, maybe even A rank. This team is not ready for that. Anything to say for yourself, Tazuna? Asked Kakashi. Wave has been ruled by a tyrant for years now. I've lost my son-in-law, most of my land, and my village is only a few months from being so in debt to that short prick that we lose all our homes. The only hope for the village is to finish the bridge and break Gato's hold on us," stated Tazuna as he turned to head to Wave. "I'll be on my way." "Alright then, let's go," stated Naruto as he started to move away, Sakura and Sasuke moving towards Konoha, Naruto and Kakashi falling in step with the portly bridge builder. "You're helping me? Why?" asked the shocked Tazuna. Other than Konoha, Wave was the only nation to be anything other than hostile towards Uzushio. "I won't let an ally fall to tyrant over something as simple as money. If need be, I'll pay for this mission and the bridge costs myself," stated Naruto as he pulled out a storage scroll. This scroll holds what's left of the bounty on the diamond of Iwa, Hyorakuto. There's about 4 million real left in it. This will be going to this mission and your bridge. "You're the one that killed the diamond of Iwa?" questioned a stunned Kakashi. "He was Iwa's version of me. And only a little less strong, he was a rank easy." "Yeah, Iwa found out about me, sent him and a couple of Chunin after me. I killed them, got the bounties, and used the money for my spending cash," stated Naruto. It was right around now that Sasuke and Sakura realized that they were walking in the opposite direction of their sensei and teammate. -8 hours later. The group was rather shocked that the old man could keep the pace they had set for almost 10 hours. They had thought it would take at least 2 days to get to Wave Country. Instead, they were now nearing shore after a short boat ride. With Kakashi walking in front of the boat and Naruto behind it, they were perfectly protected against any threat. "Hey old man, the mist always this thick?" whispered Naruto, being careful not to cause any more noise than was needed. Something his two teammates didn't pick up on. "Yeah, it's usually a little less than this, but it's been worse," answered Tazuna. "Land approaching, Tazuna. I'll get you to the shore, but I'm gone the second you get off the boat," stated a man slightly older than the bridge builder, though not as portly. "Okay, when we hit land, well, use the diamond formation, me in back, Naruto lead, Sasuke on left, Sakura on right. Naruto, you're captain if I go down," stated Kakashi. "Why isn't Sasuke-kun captain? He's smarter and stronger than Naruto Baka," stated Sakura, earning an explosive tag slapped over her mouth. "Shut up. This is a covert assignment until we reach Tazuna's home. Yell again and I'll use something a lot less subtle than an explosive tag. I'm captain because I am smarter, stronger, faster, a better leader, and most importantly, I'm not a stuck-up emo who has both an inferiority complex and a superiority complex. You will listen and obey everything that Kakashi or I say, and if either of you don't, you'll be written up for insubordination," stated Naruto quietly yet harshly. -15 minutes later. The group had been walking for about 10 minutes, and were now about 30 minutes from Tazuna's home. Naruto saw a tiny movement in a bush on the left side, or as he called it, the open side, as Sakura had only proved his theory that the academy had failed his generation. "Wind style, airblade," thought Naruto as he shot a thin, almost invisible blade into the bush, only for a portion of the bush to be lopped off and a frightened rabbit to freeze and stare at Naruto. "It's summer, and that rabbit has white fur." "Get down!" yelled Kakashi as he dived, tackled Tazuna and Sasuke, out of instinct of course, tackled Sakura. A giant blade made its way to the group at about neck height. The group looked on in horror as Naruto stared at the blade as it came twirling towards him, only for his left hand to shoot up and grab the giant blade out of the air. All in one motion, Naruto plucked the blade from the air, spun around on his heels, and whipped the blade at the tree behind the group, almost hitting the man that had moved to the tree. Said man grabbed the handle and blurred back in front of the group. "Impressive, brat. Maybe you can break the mold and survive this encounter. Unfortunately, your opponent is me, and I feel like killing some wannabe ninja right now," stated Zabuza, leaking a good amount of killing intent, freezing Sasuke and Sakura. Zabuza Momochi, a class missing nin from Kiri, wanted for an assassination attempt on the Yondaime Mizukage. Alias, Demon of the Mist. Affiliation, former member of the Seven Swordsmen of the Mist, second behind Kisame Hashigaki. All-around fighter with Jonin level nin, Gen, and Taijutsu. Best with his sword, the head cleaver. Listed off Naruto, gaining an odd expression from Sakura and Sasuke, and a look of wonder from Zabuza and Kakashi. "Very impressive, brat. You have the reflexes and intelligence for me to consider you a ninja, but can you handle the pressure?" Suddenly, it felt like hundreds of pounds of pressure was pressing down on them. Well, to Sasuke and Sakura it felt like that, to Kakashi, it felt like a slightly damp blanket was thrown over him, and to Naruto, well, Naruto was cleaning his fingernails with a kunai. "This brat's not affected at all. How is that possible?" "Kakashi, you wanna take this one? I think I need a new coat of fingernail paint. I got some chips in this coat," stated Naruto with apparent boredom in his voice, though Kakashi noticed the discreet hand signs he was making. I want to hide me skill in case someone else is watching. I'll guard the old man and you handle Zabuza. I'll jump in if need be. Kakashi just smiled and nodded toward the blonde, before he turned back to Zabuza, and unleashed his killer intent, overpowering Zabuza's. Sasuke was panicking. This is the intensity of Jonin battle? It feels like if I make even the slightest move I'll be killed. I'd rather end it myself and get it over with, thought Sasuke as he bought the kunai he was holding up to his throat. I'm surprised, Uchiha. For someone so hell-bent on killing Danzo, you sure are having trouble handling a Jonin-level battle, stated Naruto. Though blunt, it did the trick, and Sasuke's attention shifted from the fight to Naruto, saving his life. The brat is smart, shifting his teammate attention to something less dangerous to calm his nerves, effectively increasing his usefulness, thought Zabuza. You really are Sensei's son, Naruto, though you act more like your mother, sweat dropped Kakashi. While I'd love to see the rest of this pathetic squad of so-called ninja Kirigakure jutsu, yelled out Zabuza. In seconds, a thick mist flooded the area. Kakashi instantly lifted his headband, showing his Sharingan. Meanwhile, Naruto had pulled his sunglasses up over his headband, showing his blue Rinnegan, though no one noticed it. So Sharingan, Kakashi finally shows his namesake. I feel honored that you feel I'm big enough a threat to show your trump card so early. Suddenly, Zabuza was between Sakura and Tazuna, swinging his massive blade towards the old man. His blade was suddenly stopped, a loud, metallic ring sounding through the area. Zabuza looked down to see something that scared the shit out of him, the only sword known to be superior than all the swords of the 7 swords of the mist, the immortal phoenix, a 6-foot-long blade with another foot for the handle, almost a foot and a half wide, and an almost divine shade of blood red mixed with silver to give it the appearance that it's lit aflame. There were ribbons on the bottom part of the blade, used for various techniques and also for blocking and locking enemy swords in place. Wiki/Guardian_Bow Wiki/Wicked Breaking _Flamberge_Bow. How do you have that sword? Shouted Zabuza, fear evident in his voice. Only the Uzumaki have ever held that sword. Legend says that you must gain 100 years of wisdom before you can even be considered to wield that sword. That is a secret, stated Naruto. Kakashi and Tazuna were shocked. They both knew of that sword, Kakashi because of his friendship with the sword couple Hate and Yugao. If anyone even mentioned the words legendary and sword in the same sentence, the couple would go off on a tangent about the 3 immortal sword or the 7 swords of the mist or another handful of well-known blades. Tazuna knew of the sword because that sword was the subject of one of his favorite bedtime stories growing up. Though Sasuke was impressed by the name and appearance of the sword, he did not know the legend, and therefore didn't understand what was so great about the 6-foot-long blade. Sakura, on the other hand, was getting pissed that these people kept saying things about this made-up Uzumaki clan. They don't exist. If they ever did, we would have learned about them in the academy. And what's so important about this sword? It's big, but so is Zabuza's. It doesn't matter even with the immortal phoenix, you're years away from matching my skill and experience, stated Zabuza as he jumped away from the Konoha group and readied himself for what was to come, though on the inside he wasn't faring much better. That Gaki just blocked my attack with one hand, while holding up the immortal phoenix. He's strong, and I'd barely caught him move, let alone unseal the sword and then move. This is bad. I can feel the power radiating off the blonde, and Kakashi is at my level, maybe above it. I'm going to need help for this job, but first I have to thin out their numbers. Kakashi, you take the eyebrowless wonder, I'll guard Tazuna, and be careful, there is some watching us, but I can't tell if it's good or bad, stated Naruto. Kakashi nodded. He didn't like the fact he was just ordered by a genin, though he knew that Naruto was no ordinary genin, and after all, he was Minato's real son, and something of a brother to Kakashi. Zabuza and Kakashi moved at the same time, a taijutsu/kenjutsu fight ensuing. Every slash was blocked by Kakashi and every hit was blocked by Zabuza. The back and forth ending when Kakashi got careless and was forced to retreat as Zabuza wound up for another big slice. Kakashi landed on the water, and immediately knew it was a mistake. Water style, water prison jutsu. Shit, I was careless, Naruto. Take Tazuna, Sasuke and Sakura and get away from here, shouted Kakashi, though Naruto apparently didn't hear him, as Naruto made 10 shadow clones to guard the group and started to slowly move towards Zabuza. Think you can take me on? I'm an A-rank ninja. I killed hundreds before I was 10. You're nothing to me, brat, even with that sword, shouted Zabuza, sounding about 100 times more confident than he felt. Naruto just continued to walk slowly towards Zabuza and Kakashi, not even breaking stride as he went from land to water. What's the matter, Gaki? Tired of living? Shouted Zabuza. Naruto just smirked, tilted his head slightly and kept pace. I'm not tired of living, but I can tell that you are, so I'm going to help you out in your endeavor. Then, as soon as the last word left his mouth, Naruto flashed away. Naruto appeared behind Zabuza in a flash and swung his sword at the man's back, only for Zabuza to block it, holding his own sword with his free hand. Of course, this is exactly what Naruto wanted, and he used his nearly unmatched flexibility to kick the masked man in the throat, forcing him to drop the water prison holding Kakashi, but not before Zabuza managed to deliver a slash to the right thigh of the copy nin. Shit, Kakashi cursed. He had once again been careless, and had gotten caught flat-footed, resulting in the gash in his leg. It was far from lethal, as Zabuza had missed any arteries, though it would be impossible for Kakashi to move at any high rate of speed for a long time. Kakashi, get by Tazuna, you're in no shape to fight him. I'll handle this, stated Naruto as he stood facing Zabuza, sword in one hand, the other free. Still too overconfident, kid, there's no way you can beat the demon of the mist. Especially in a sword fight, shouted Zabuza, his gravel-like voice sure of his victory. Dude, do you have an inside voice? What's with all the shouting? Questioned Naruto. And believe me, you're no demon, I've met more than enough of them to know that you're just a baby comparing itself to giants. Zabuza was stunned. This kid had balls. Wow, Gaki, with balls like that, you'll make a girl very happy one day if you live that long. Zabuza charged forward, sword horizontal to the ground, ready to slash. Naruto charged forward as well, still holding the blade behind him. Zabuza faked a horizontal slash and sent a vertical chop at the blonde. Naruto countered by whipping his own blade around to Zabuza's chest with a huge arching swing while sidestepping the chop, forcing Zabuza to twist his body around and use the flat of his blade to block the blonde's slash. The two swordsmen locked into a test of strength, only for the ripped blonde to win the battle by using both hands, thus using his own huge muscle mass to overpower the slightly less ripped Zabuza. What the hell is this kid? I've never met or even heard of a kid, not even 16, who has more pure strength than me. Only Kisame could ever hold his own against me, and this kid is doing it with no problem at all, panicked Zabuza as he broke away from Naruto and studied his opponent. He's strong, though not as strong as when we fought that fish freak. He's quick too, and his reflexes are just as good as Kakashi's. I don't want use Kyuubi's chakra because I'm becoming reliant on it, just like the Rinnegan. I can't use that yet, and I'm still not good enough with my sword to beat him with straight Kenjutsu. Let's try ninjutsu. Naruto jumped back to make some distance, and stared at his opponent. You like that sword a lot. But I bet that you rely on it, and I'm willing to bet my sword that you can't beat me in a ninjutsu battle, stated Naruto, trying to goad the man into taking the bait. Well, I'll just have to take that offer, retorted Zabuza as he flashed through Hand Seal's water style, water collision wave. Naruto watched as the huge wave crashed towards him. He was truly impressed by the mastery of the jutsu needed for a wave this big and the pure chakra capacity needed. Hiruzen, thought Naruto as he flashed in front of Zabuza lightning style, body shock impulse. Zabuza barely had time to bring his sword in front of him to try and block his attack, only to be painfully shocked as the electric field released from the blonde's torso crossed through the blade and into his arm and chest. Any lightning that got past the blade made contact with his other arm, his right leg and his right abdomen. Zabuza was flung back from the force of the jutsu and was slammed into a tree, both arms and his whole right side twitching extremely painfully from the lightning chakra forced into him. What are you? Questioned Zabuza quietly as he watched the blonde striding towards him, his body spasming painfully. This kid is the real demon. Hurry it up, Haku. Your death, stated Naruto as he moved towards Zabuza, wind chakra swirling in his hand. Just as Naruto was about to stab his hand into Zabuza's chest, two Senbon embedded into the masked man's neck. Thank you for weakening him for me. I have been following this man for years now and I couldn't stand seeing someone else killing him, stated a rather short hunter nin. Naruto noticed that the long hair was almost reflective with its level of shine. Odd for a Kiri nin to use Senbon. Would you like me to remove his head? Questioned Naruto. No, I will handle that, stated the hunter nin, starting to sweat. Nonsense, I can tell you're young as well as I am. If I had to guess, 13? No, 14? Plus you don't have a blade that can make that kind of cut. I'd be happy to behead him for you. As he lifted his blade to Zabuza's throat. In a flash of movement, the hunter nin was next to Zabuza, then they both disappeared. Kakashi, we have a problem. Naruto turned around to see Kakashi lying on the ground, out cold. Alright, after I heal Kakashi, we're going to Tazuna's house. Next day. Wake up, Kakashi, report findings, go train, that will work. Thought Naruto out loud, forcing everyone at the table to look at him funny. Sorry, force of habit, it was part of my mental training to report everything I thought, I still do it sometimes. Okay, what did you mean when you said all that? Asked Sakura, who really couldn't care less, but her academic side, if you can call it that, needed to know everything. Well, after I disinfected Kakashi's leg and healed it, I gave him some painkillers, which should wear off soon. I'll wait and tell you both when I confirm it. And if he's out of commission, I'll be training you. Stated Naruto. Sakura scoffed mentally at the prospect of being trained by the dobe. Sasuke instantly perked up. The dobe, no matter how much he hated to even think it, was better than him in every way. Any training from him would boost his power. And if the way he handled Zabuza was any indication, the blonde could be his ticket to power. Sakura, on the other hand, why should we listen to your training? Sasuke-kun is much better than you. Because I'm team captain and the leader while the scarecrow is out. Upstairs. Oh man, I must be getting rusty. I should have never quit ANBU. Yeah, you're rusty alright. Kakashi spun around to see Naruto looking out the window. They're still eating. Before they get here, did you notice that the Hunter Nin wasn't as they appeared? Yes, the Hunter Nin is obviously working with Zabuza, stated Kakashi. The Sharingan can see chakra, correct? Questioned Naruto. Only when the opponent uses a jutsu. Why? Responded Kakashi. What element would spawn from blue and white chakra? Questioned Naruto. Were the colors mixing? Kakashi asked seriously. Yeah. Ice manipulation, Kakashi said bluntly. He knew what it took to form most sub-elements because of his old friend Tenzo. Shit. At least it will be one of us up against the ice user. Hopefully Gato can't find anyone as strong as Zabuza, stated Naruto. Naruto. Why didn't you use QB chakra or your eyes at all during the fight? Well, if you really want to know, ninja that use only one or two aspects of their arsenal have nothing to fall back on. The QB chakra I use is not my own, not yet anyway. And the Rinnegan is only in my possession because of a fluke. In short, I'd rather use my own skills than ones that were given to me. I don't feel I've earned either power yet, so I refrain from using them until all my other skills are to my satisfaction. Stated Naruto with conviction. Kakashi was surprised by the young boy's words, but even more surprised when he remembered hearing Minato something similar about the Hiraishin, and when he started to learn Sage Mode. It's too bad that his sensei never finished his training. Living room. What do you mean Zabuza's alive? Screamed Sakura. Thankfully it wasn't a shriek. That Hunter Nin was a fake. No Kiri Hunter Nin would move a body after the target's confirmed dead, and it's easy to fake a kill with Saban. There's a cluster of nerves in the neck that can cause it. Stated Naruto. Plus she was too young for the minimum to be a Hunter Nin for Kiri. If I had to guess from the voice and overall appearance, plus chakra capacity, she was about 13 years old and high chunin in level. Kakashi-sensei? Is this true? Asked Sakura, hoping beyond hope that the blonde was lying. Yes, Zabuza is alive and the Hunter Nin is his partner to some degree. This causes problems as the Hunter Nin is an unknown, but me and Naruto have deduced that Zabuza's partner is at least chunin in level and most likely specializes in throwing weapons and ninjutsu. Stated Kakashi. No way. How can anyone our age be that strong? Even Sasuke-kun isn't that strong. Stated Sakura. Sakura. It's important you learn this now. In this world, there are people younger than you and stronger than me. Naruto is a prime example. Stated Kakashi, getting an incredulous look from Sakura and a raised eyebrow from Sasuke. Yeah right, just because he beat some missing ninja doesn't make him strong. Stated Sakura as if that made any sense. Oh? And what makes Sasuke so great? He didn't do shit versus Zabuza. Stated Naruto. He's an Uchiha. He's an elite ninja and when he unlocks the Sharingan, he will be the strongest. Stated Sakura. Both Naruto and Kakashi shared looks of concern. So Sasuke is strong, just because of his Uchiha blood? Not because he put in uncountable hours, even days of work? He's strong because of a name, and not the fact that he trained his ass off. Questioned Naruto. Sasuke mentally was smiling because of the hidden compliment. Sasuke is strong because he's Sasuke. Stated the now angry Kunoichi. Sasuke is as strong as he is because he's worked for it. He's the strongest of your class by a mile because he worked his ass off, and you're insulting him by stating that he didn't. Same with Kakashi. He's the son of the White Fang, but you probably didn't know that, seeing as the academy is useless. Do you think that Kakashi graduated from the academy at the lowest age ever, became a Jonin by age 13, ANBU commander at 14, and is considered one of the top candidates to be the next Hokage, simply because his father was strong? Questioned Naruto with a voice devoid of any emotion. Kakashi-sensei had a strong father, and he's strong too. stated Sakura as if that statement explained everything. And what about Hiruzen Sarutobi? He made his own clan. What of Minato Namikaze? The fourth Hokage and arguably the most dangerous man in the world, he was an orphan. Same with Jiraiya and Orochimaru of the Sannin. They were both orphans, and they are arguably the strongest men in the world. Stated Naruto, but he still had to drive the point home. What about the third Raikage? No one knew who his parents were. Why don't we go by village? Suna, the third Kazekage, was born in a family of merchants. IWA? The second Tsuchikage was found on the streets as a boy and was raised by the Shodame. Kiri? Their most powerful is still in office. He's 30 years old and he is son of two Chunits. Sakura didn't know how to answer that. She knew that the fourth Hokage was an orphan, and that the last two Kazekage were both from non-shinobi families, thanks to reading some extra books at the library. But to hear that 6 of the most powerful men in history came from non-shinobi background nearly crushed what she was taught to believe. What do we do now? Questioned Sasuke, a rare smile on his face. After all the hard work he had done, it was nice to have someone see his hard work, though it angered him that Naruto had discounted the Uchiha name. This team can handle Zabuza and his partner, so what do we do now? To say that Kakashi and Naruto were shocked was an understatement. Sasuke had just said this team can handle. Does that mean that he was finally breaking his shell? They both knew it was probably to inflate his own ego that his team was strong, but it was a start. Easy, we train, stated Kakashi, flipping another page in his book. Zabuza is an up-close fighter. His partner is most likely a mid-range fighter. We'll be training your chakra control and capacity. After that I'll go over some jutsu and maybe speed training, stated Naruto. What jutsu? With Zabuza. Some demon. You got beat by a bunch of kids, shouted Gato. First off, I lost to a ninja who is just as strong and even more infamous than I. And that was no kid, stated Zabuza, who then fell silent. There's a group my former teammate is part of. Contact them and you'll have this bridge builder dead in no time. Though it might cost you. Like hell, I'm hiring more ninja. I paid you to kill the bridge builder and you're going to do it, shouted Gato. Listen, you little bucket of fuck. They have 2 at least high A-class ninja. You need an S-class for something like that. I'm not an S-class ninja. If you want the bridge builder dead, you need more ninja. And they're the only ones that would take the job, stated Zabuza. Fine, but it's coming out of your pay. Now who is this group you speak of? Training ground. Alright. Time for the first exercise. Tree walking, stated Kakashi, still on crutches from the cut he got from Zabuza. Naruto may be able to use medical chakra, but he was no Tsunade. How will climbing trees help us get stronger? Questioned Sasuke. A few ways actually. Here, watch me, stated Naruto as he moved to a tree and began to walk up the trunk, as he came to a branch and walked out onto it. He then cut the flow of chakra to his feet, twisted his body and landed gracefully at the foot of the tree. You channel chakra to the bottom of your feet and walk up the tree. This practices chakra control, increases your reserves and helps builds muscle because you're constantly fighting gravity. When you can walk up and down the tree or fight on the tree for 15 minutes straight, we'll move on to the next step. And how does this help me become stronger? I could just do push-ups, sit-ups and squats? Who cares about chakra control? Questioned Sasuke. Uchiha, what could happen if you put too much chakra into a fire jutsu? Asked Naruto calmly. It would explode in my face, stated Sasuke. And what about too little chakra? It wouldn't ignite, stated Sasuke, his voice showing his temper rising. So having good control would help with a high-level fire jutsu, right? Now climb the damn tree. -2 days later. I'm impressed, Haruno. Your reserves are now low to mid-gen and very nice. I think it's time you started water walking, stated Naruto. Kakashi was at the bridge, seeing as he could still destroy bandits if need be. What about me? I'm an Uchiha, shouted Sasuke from about halfway up the tree, but he lost his focus and fell from the tree. That's why, dumbass. Finish the tree walking exercise and I'll teach you water walking earth style, great crater jutsu. Water style, liquefaction jutsu, stated Naruto as he made a 20-foot diameter hole in the ground. Water then forced its way up into the hole, filling it with murky water. Okay, Sakura, now apply a layer of chakra to your feet and use it to push against the water. It's going to be a constantly changing amount, so tread carefully. Unknown location. I see why you like him, Are. But do you think that he is truly next in line? His father, while promising, didn't make the cut. What do you think makes him different? stated a tall, extremely muscular man with jet black hair, tan skin and pure black eyes with blue slotted pupils. He wore a deep blue toga and black wristbands. Well, so far the immortal phoenix has accepted him, showing that he is indeed the descendant of the last champion. He has those gifted eyes, plus he truly cares about the world's well-being. Stated R.A., a medium height, rather scrawny redhead with equally tan skin and eyes of pure scarlet. He wore a blood-red toga with light green wristbands. Oh? And just how do you know that? Stated the muscular man, his bulky arms crossed across his chest. He's found his own answer to the great question, and it's good enough for me. I'm sure it will be good enough for you, stated R.A. Oh? And why don't you fill me in, oh great Phoenix Lord? Laughed the built man. Coming from a dragon, that's almost comical, especially you, Iroh. Retorted R.A., the bulky man's sweat dropped. Hey, at least I'm not that damn Chimera Rock. Retorted the tall muscular man, now identified as Iroh. Good point. Now would you like to hear his answer? Questioned R.A. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to hear it, though I doubt that it will change my mind. Muttered Iroh. He's going to break the cycle by taking all the hatred on himself. He said that he would eliminate all that is evil, and when his job is done, he will willingly forfeit his own life to permanently break the cycle. Stated R.A. with a smile on his usually stoic face. Wow, did he speak with conviction when he spoke those words? Questioned Iroh. His right eyebrow raised. Such words have not been spoken since we entrusted him with our gifts. Even more than when he found that same answer. I'm going to give him one more test, and if he passes, I'm giving him my portion of the great power. Stated R.A., his pure red eyes staining into the glass-like dome in front of them. From the way you speak, you sound as if you have already met the boy personally, spoke Iroh, his tone dangerous and his eyes narrowed. I have, though not as any form you know me as. I went to visit the blonde ball of energy about 2 Earth years ago. Even as a 10-year-old he spoke with great authority and wisdom, though not arrogantly. He may be rough around the edges, but he will make a great champion. Stated R.A., his unnaturally smooth voice showing his absolute conviction in the boy's potential. Then a test it is, though you're going to have to convince that damned Chimera to give his test. Stated Iroh. He always was a stubborn son of a bitch, but I don't think that even he can discount this young human's resolve. Stated R.A. What test will you give him? Not that damned riddle again, I hope. No, that was always Rock's test. I'll let him use it if he wishes. My test will be similar to your first test. Where you gave him your feather, I will test him with my fang. Stated Iroh, a large grin on his face. A tall task indeed, stated R.A., his eyes widened slightly. Let's hope it goes better than the last human you gave the test to. Next day. So Sakura can water walk already? After only 1 day? Questioned Kakashi. They were sitting at the kitchen table, waiting for the other members to wake up. Yep, but the Uchiha is only about 3/4 as the way up the tree. His emotions are getting in the way. He's going to need to be broken of that soon, or it's going to get him killed. Stated Naruto. I was sure that he would break out of this by now. Stated Kakashi, mostly to himself. Well, if you don't mind, I'll guard the bridge today. Maybe some time away from me will calm him down a bit. I'm not teaching the Uchiha or his fangirls any of my personal chakra control exercises, and I'm definitely not teaching them any of my jutsu. Stated Naruto. Can't blame you there. Go ahead and take the bridge duty. We still have about a week until Zabuza's back to normal, but I wouldn't be surprised if he had help. Stated Kakashi. I'll be sure to keep a lookout. 3 days later, clearing in woods. To think I'm the son of the Yondaime still floors me, and I'm still going to take your power one day, Fox. Stated Naruto. Get used to it, brat. The man is your father, and now he's one of your paths. Though I must admit, I still don't believe you could take full control of me. The Sage of 6 Paths had a power beyond your imagining. Even with your 8-tailed state, he would destroy you in a second. Claimed the fox, though it wasn't as menacing as it usually was, seeing as the fox was currently the size of a large horse. Just how strong was he, Fox? I mean, from what you've told me, he took on a being that was all the tailed beasts combined. Asked Naruto. He wasn't simple strong, brat. He was powerful. Even that pervert's butcher toad sage mode wouldn't last a second against him, and I believe that the pervert is the strongest human on the planet right now. Stated the fox. Really? Questioned Naruto with an eyebrow cocked. He's a sage. The sage is bound to be the most powerful. The only thing that can stand in the way of a sage is a sage. But like I said, the toad sage is nothing compared to a full sage. stated the fox. Someone is approaching. I believe it's that hunter Nin that was with Zabuza. Naruto nodded and left his mindscape, finding the fox was once again right. The now maskless hunter Nin was walking below Naruto, who had been sitting in a tree. Naruto slowly leaked out his chakra and flashed behind the fake hunter Nin. You know, started Naruto. The hunter Nin spun around and if not for her shinobi training, would have shrieked in surprise. I wouldn't suspect that one from the Yuki clan would ever be a hunter Nin, mostly because of the whole bloodline hater thing, though maybe that's why you left with Zabuza. How do you know all of this? Have you been spying on us? Questioned Haku, fear present in her eyes. No, if I knew where you were staying, Zabuza would be dead right now. And no, I'm not going to kill you, stated Naruto. Why not? We are enemies, it is kill or be killed, and even if you don't kill me, what makes you so sure I won't kill you? Asked the fake hunter Nin. Your left hand twitched towards where you presumably hold your sunbound difficult tool to use. Those needles are even harder to kill with, even more so when you've never killed before, stated Naruto calmly, while the hunter Nin was getting even more scared. What do you talk about? I have killed before, I'm a hunter Nin. No, you're not. Your eyes show you haven't killed before, you're still pure and innocent. Tell Zabuza that he shouldn't be working with Gato, the man is dirtier than almost anyone else, and I doubt that he's actually going to pay you. Farewell, hunter, I'll most likely see you when we fight next week. That night, Gato's warehouse. You're the super powerful ninja I sent for? You sure don't look like much, stated Gato. You would be surprised. One does not get labeled S rank for nothing. Now, if you would please tell us our targets, we can get started on our price. That punk Zabuza said that the ninja you will be fighting are Kakashi Hatake, a young blonde-haired boy, that apparently is stronger than Zabuza is, 2 genin, and your final targets are Zabuza and his partner, stated Gato. Hatake and Momochi, those are some big bounties. And another Sharingan to add to my collection. This day started out as any other had during their stay in Wave. The group had woken up at the usual time. At breakfast they ate in silence, until a certain overall-wearing boy decided to ruin the quiet atmosphere. Why do you all train so hard? You're just going to die, cried out Inari, slamming his hands on the table. You're right, kid. All of us are going to die. It might be today, might be tomorrow, very few of us retire. But the fact of the matter is that as ninja we knew this reality the second we put this headband on, stated Naruto, as he calmly looked to the young boy. His calmness startled many of the people at the table, but none more that Kakashi, who was now observing the blonde even closer. No, you idiot! Gato is going to kill all of you. There are no such thing as heroes, stated the boy, his anger rising to the surface. There are heroes, Inari. Take the Yondaime Hokage for example. He almost single-handedly ended a war. To the village hidden in the leaves, he's a hero, but to IWA, he's the greatest monster. I suppose you could say there really are no heroes, as one man's hero is another's most hated, but I'm not giving up on my dream, and I can assure you, I won't die by Gato's hand, stated Naruto calmly, shocking many at the table once again that the usually happy and somewhat loud boy was still so level-headed. You don't know what it's like to live a hard childhood. You ninja are all babe-it, shouted Inari, Kakashi's eyes both widened in fear, not just the thought of Naruto, but also Sasuke ripping into the boy. Again, you are wrong. You still have a mother and grandfather, who love you and take care of you. You see Sasuke over there? His whole family was killed in one day by a man who had been considered a family friend. You see Kakashi? His mother died when he was just a newborn, and his father killed himself because of a choice he made to save the lives of his comrades, which ended up costing more lives as a result. I, on the other hand, didn't know who my parents were until I was 8. I got kicked out of the orphanage when I was 3 and beaten almost daily until I was 8 years old when Sasuke's clan tried to kill me. I had to leave the village, move around the elemental nations, live by killing my own food, and I made most of my clothes. From the time I was 3 till about 3 months ago, I didn't have a roof over my head. I've never known a mother's love, never knew what my next meal was going to be, or where it would come from. I fought for everything I have. You may think your life is hard, but I bet that every orphan in that village about half a mile away from here would give everything they have to live your life for a week. There is always someone with a harder life than you, and by God have mercy on the ones who had it harder than me, stated Naruto, his carefree expression never leaving his face, though his words took to the ominous side. His face held a small smile, but it was clear to everyone but Sakura that everything the blonde had said was true. You really lived like that? Questioned Inari, too shocked to let tears fall from his eyes. Of course he didn't. Only Sasuke-kun's life is that BA smack. Sakura was cut off when she was sent across the room. Everyone was shocked when they saw the pinkette fly across the room, and even more shocked when it was the last person anyone would expect to have hit the pink-haired girl standing over her. Tsunami stood above the young kunoichi, her hand still stinging from the huge backhand that had launched her from her chair and into the wall. What kind of monster are you? What could possibly be wrong with you that you could even think like that? Any half-retarded dog could understand that every word your teammate just spoke was the truth. All you ever do is insult and belittle him. You don't even know that the only reason that I'm even alive right now, and that you're alive for that matter, is because Naruto saved our lives. 3 years ago, before Gato even came to Wave, I was almost raped. If it wasn't for Naruto, Inari could have another brother or sister. I heard from both your sensei and my father that if it wasn't for Naruto, you wouldn't have lasted against the guy you fought. From now on, you will not speak in my house, and the next time I hear you bad-mouthing Naruto, I'll make sure you can't talk for the next year. After the intense tirade from the angered mother, Tsunami left the house and went to sit on the porch, praying to God that no one came to try to talk to her. Back inside, Tazuna was speechlessly staring at not the door, but the young blonde who had continued eating. So it was you who helped her back then? Tazuna leaned back and looked at the table. I owe you a great deal more than you realize. Please follow me. I request the rest of you stay here. Tazuna and Naruto stood and walked up the stairs. Inari had a small smile on his face as he re-evaluated every good aspect of his life. Sakura had passed out from the pain and possible brain damage from the monstrous backhand, as well as the killing intent from Kakashi and Tsunami. Sasuke continued to brood as he went over the words his blonde teammate had spoken, trying to find out how the blonde had got so powerful. In Tazuna's room. So you were the one who helped out Tsunami so long ago. I'm in your debt, Naruto, stated Tazuna as he walked to the window next to his bed. Why do I get the feeling there's more to this? Questioned Naruto as he leaned up against the wall. The Tsunami you just saw smack the pink-haired girl. I hadn't seen that Tsunami since you saved her. After that, she withdrew into herself. She puts up a strong front of being a kind and caring person, but that's not really her. She used to be a total tomboy, always getting in fights to defend her friends. You saw how strong she is, right? She sent that girl flying through the air like she was a balled-up piece of paper. That's the Tsunami I raised, and that's the mother I believe Inari needs, stated Tazuna as he looked out his window at his daughter sitting on the swing next to Kakashi, her face showing a pissed-off facade. I guess what I'm saying is, you have the power to change people for the better. This country needs a hero, kid. I believe that you're that hero. Tazuna, I'll do my best to help out, but I don't see how I can be the hero. I've been here a week and I haven't done anything but help build the bridge with my shadow clones, stated Naruto. Hope, kid, you give people hope. And if there's one thing that can beat Gato, it's a village full of hope. With Tsunami and Kakashi. I know you're not in the best mood right now, but can I ask how you know Naruto? There's only a handful of people that would defend him like that, asked Kakashi as he sat next to Tsunami. The young mother sighed and told her story. I was getting back from visiting a friend in the village when a large man grabbed me and took me into the forest. I'd rather not relive that, so I'll just say that Naruto and a man that looked a lot like your other student saved me. I'm not sure what he did, but the man who tried to attack me gave a look of immense pain, and then he was dead. After that, he gave me his coat to wear home. They helped me back onto the path to my house and followed from behind until I got to my home. When I turned to see if they were still there, they were already gone. If you recognized Naruto, then why didn't you say anything when we first got here? Asked Kakashi. As I said before, I tried to forget that day, but when that pink-haired bitch started to berate Naruto, I just kinda lost it. Next day. Team 7 arrived at the bridge, only for the sight of 4 people standing amongst a battlefield's worth of injured or dead workers to enter their vision. Kakashi, stated Naruto calmly. Are you back at 100%? No, about 90%, stated Kakashi quietly, making sure to keep that bit of info from the enemy. Shit, Kakashi, take Zabuza, try to beat him fast. I'm going to need help with this. Sasuke, you're going to have to fight the Hunter Nin, stated Naruto. And who are you going to take? Questioned Sasuke. The Uchiha code said that as an Uchiha, he has to defeat the strongest opponent, as he was the strongest of the group. The 2 S-class criminals, stated Naruto as he flashed away, leaving Kakashi shocked and Sasuke brooding about being denied his rights as an Uchiha. Naruto's fight. Naruto flashed in front of the smaller man and threw a huge left hook, which was stealthily avoided. Fuck me. How much did it cost to hire you two? A lot, but the bonus of having the bounty of Kakashi Hatake and Zabuza Momochi helped to lower the price a bit, stated the tall man. He had green eyes, his face and hair were covered with wrappings. Plus I'm sure it won't hurt to bring back a tailed beast container, stated the shorter of the two. He had short dark spiky hair, a scar on his chin in the shape of an X and a black patch over his right eye. Kakazu and Danzo, both of you are considered to be immortal. I'll have to go all out from the start, stated Naruto, as he removed his glasses, showing his blue, ringed eyes. Both Danzo and Kakazu were shocked to see the same Digitsu that their leader had, even if it was a different color. Naruto shot forward, a wind Rasengan in his right hand. He started heading towards Kakazu, weaving wildly through the tendrils that were coming out of the masked man's hands. Kakazu released his fire, and Earth Hearts too tried to counter the ringing ball of death. Too slow! Shouted Naruto as he disappeared and reappeared behind the bulky man for a split second before he disappeared again and drove the wind Rasengan into Danzo's back, as the Shimura had been waiting to see the damage this new technique could do, only to feel it firsthand. Naruto didn't wait to confirm his death, as he disappeared again, and drove a lightning Rasengan through Kakazu's earth mask. Naruto jumped back, taking a quick glance at the other fights. Kakashi vs. Zabuza. That blonde brat of yours is ridiculous. Going up against two S-class ninja, stated Zabuza in his usual gravelly voice. Your fight is with me, stated Kakashi as he charged Zabuza with a kunai in hand. Zabuza slashed at Kakashi's leg, targeting the previously weakened area. Kakashi parried the slash and spun around to swipe at the former missed Nin. You're still injured, Kakashi. You won't survive this encounter. Sasuke vs. Haku. You are very skilled. The fact that you have yet to be injured by my needles speaks volumes of your skill, but that ends now. Ice style. Demonic ice mirrors. Sasuke stood strong in the middle of the fountains of quickly freezing water that had been deposited around him by several water jutsu. His newly rebuilt smugness retained from mastering the water walking and agility exercises in just under 3 days had jumped to a whole new level after he stood his ground against the fake hunter Nin. No one has made it out of this jutsu. Not even Zabuza-sama can beat me in here. Take this moment to find some form of peace. Naruto vs. Kakazu and Danzo. Naruto dodged a powerful fist from the human ragdoll Kakazu, when he was caught in the shoulder by passing kunai that was coated in wind chakra. Fuck, old man. You steal the eyes of the Uchiha, implant the cells of Hashirama, and you have wind nature? And on top of that you have an army of drones? Danzo smirked. I turned my army over to someone who will use them more effectively than I ever did. And I may not have been the one responsible for that massacre, but I am an S-rank ninja. You would do well to remember that, boy, and when I see something I want, I take it, like these eyes for example. Heh, too bad my eyes are worth more than all the eyes you stole. How does that feel, old man? Even your greatest victory is a footnote to the Digitsu I was born with, stated Naruto, trying and successfully taunting the ex-Konoha elder. You insolent brat. I'll show you the power of the Sharingan, stated Danzo as he ripped the bandages from his face, revealing an eye he never thought he would see, the eye of another man that had helped him in the past. The eye of Shursui Uchiha. You son of a bitch! You stole his eye too. Suddenly, Naruto became cloaked in a red aura, then a black one, then a skeleton started to appear. You're both lucky, you're the first ones I face while in complete control of my six-tailed form. I don't know you all too well, Kakazu, but the fossil will have to die for his crimes. You best hope you do better than Orochimaru did. Naruto disappeared in a blur of black and planted a fist in Danzo's gut, folding him in half and crushing every bone that made up his torso and liquefying his internal organs. A sickening squelching, ripping, crushing sound tore through the air on and around the bridge. Zabuza and Kakashi stopped their fight in the middle of a power struggle to watch Danzo's body crumple around what they could only assume was Naruto's fist, then launch across the bridge and cross-body a rather large beam. Another crunching sound rang through the bridge as his heels touched the back of his head and his now dead body slipped down the metal beam, only for the body to shimmer out of existence, and for another Danzo to appear from behind the metal beam. Kakazu? You going to help me with this brat, or are you going to just stand there? How are you alive? I crushed your spine and turned your insides into literal jelly. Is that what you meant by the power of the Uchiha? Is that why one of them just closed? Questioned Naruto as he pointed to the eye above Danzo's hand, which was now closed. Danzo squinted his eyes in anger. This brat just figured out one of his powers and most likely the way to beat his trump card. Kakazu, on the other hand, who still had the broken and shredded earth heart hanging out of his chest, was thinking of retreat. The blonde had shown that he could avoid his combination attacks and even managed to get behind him and take out one of his hearts. Thought Leader Sama would be very upset if he left a container, even if it wasn't the one he was assigned. Haku vs. Sasuke. Seems my bloodline is better than yours, Uchiha. Even if you can telegraph my attacks, your body isn't fast enough to avoid them, stated Haku, her real body in the topmost mirror. Don't insult the Uchiha, you peasant. No blood is stronger than the Uchiha, stated Sasuke as we wobbled into a fighting stance. You're pitiful. I wish I was allowed to kill you, but Master says to leave you alive, stated Haku as she threw another volley of Senbon, sending a few of them into Sasuke, one piercing a cluster of nerves in his left shoulder, right at the base of the neck. You're done. If I wish to kill you, you would be helpless to stop me. Learn humility, Uchiha, as the next opponent you face will defiantly not have a problem ending your pitiful existence. Naruto's fight. Danzo, stated Kakazu as he dodged another blast of pure wind chakra. I believe we should report our finding to Leader Sama. No, I still have one move I'd like to use. Summoning. Baku! Shouted Danzo. In a plume of smoke, a giant elephant chimera, look up Danzo's summon, took up his portion of the bridge. Once again all fighting stopped as the Baku landed on the bridge with a resounding crack as the bridge structure was stressed to the limit. What the hell is that thing? Questioned Haku as she let the mirrors down, as Sasuke lay on the ground breathing, but unable to move as there was a needle in the base of the neck. The Baku, the creature capable of eating dreams, stated Kakashi, standing next to Buza, who visibly shuddered from seeing the legendary creature. The giant Baku let out a deafening roar that shook the bridge as it charged towards Naruto, Danzo jumping on his summon's back as it continued its charge. Naruto jumped out of the path on the rampaging summon and onto the water left of the bridge, praying the beast couldn't move on water. He released a breath he didn't know he was holding when the Baku stopped at the edge of the bridge and let out a resounding roar. Danzo, keep him on the water, stated Kakazu as he released the wind, lightning and water mass from his back. As they started launching all manner of combination jutsu possible for the three elements, aiming at Blonde or at the areas around him as Naruto used his outrageous speed to move from spot to spot as he dodged the attacks. Keep him on his toes, shouted Danzo as the Baku started to deeply inhale, sucking up everything within its path. The vacuum increased in power when Danzo used his strong wind affinity to speed up the moving air. Naruto started slipping across the water towards the Baku as Kakaza fired of combination jutsu. Shit, Shinra Tensei. The wave of gravity negated the Baku's pull and defecting the jutsu that the masks had sent at him. Bishino Tenin! Shouted Naruto as he pulled the Baku and Danzo off the bridge and then dropped it into the deep water, forcing it to either dispel or drown, while Danzo pumped chakra into his legs as he leaped as high as possible into the air. While Danzo was in the air, Naruto was forced to dodge tendril after tendril from Kakazu as the human ragdoll kept him moving, forcing him to go to his four-tailed state once again. Kodo Amatsukami! Shouted Danzo as he landed in front of Naruto. Naruto froze as he looked into Shizui's eye. Danzo gained a triumphant look across his face as he moved across the water towards his target. Kit! Use as much of your chakra and my chakra as possible right now. Even the son of the great Yondaime will follow my. An explosion of hatred and malice filled the air as Kyuubi's chakra surrounded Naruto's body in an even denser and darker layer, immediately jumping to 6 tails and then growing to 7, then 8. I refuse to be controlled by that damned eye again, shouted a powerful voice that wasn't Naruto as the now giant hairless Kyuubi swiped at Danzo, catching him in the chest and ripping him in half, until he once again shimmered in and out of existence. Kyuubi? Danzo. We need to get out of here now, shouted Kakazu as his hearts returned to him, and he disappeared in a burst of speed, planning to get the information to Leader Sama as soon as possible. Until we meet again, boy. I'm not sure how you resisted my genjutsu, but I'm not done with you yet, stated Danzo as he too disappeared after dodging another swipe of the Naruto Kyuubi. Kit! Stop channeling my chakra or you'll go full 9 tails, shouted Kyuubi, somehow getting through to Naruto because he slowly started to transform back into his former self. The Kyuubi cloak disappeared, revealing the charred and bleeding body of Naruto, who soon after dropped to his knees and let loose a pain-filled howl as his vision turned black and he started to sink into the waves. Unknown location. To resist Kodo Amatsukami like that, and then to fight back against the Kyuubi's chakra, this child is special. Alright, I believe he passes my preliminary test. He led the enemy away from his comrades and overcame one of the most powerful genjutsus there is. A stronger will I have never seen in a human, stated a tall, lean man with black and white eyes and brown, shoulder-length hair, wearing a dark brown toga. Okay, wake him up, stated Iroh with a slight grin on his face. The short redhead nodded and closed his eyes. With Naruto. Naruto, it's not your time yet. Awaken! Shouted a powerful voice as Naruto found himself wide awake and in agonizing pain about 10 feet under the surface of the water. Leave the water, your tenant will heal you, just get the bridge. Who are you? I can know you're not the fuzzbee ball, thought Naruto as he fought through the slowly dulling pain to get back to the surface of the water. My name is Ra, now get to the bridge, stated the voice. Naruto decided that it was in his best interest to do just that, as he pulled himself onto the surface of the water and started to move towards the bridge, his skin peeling and regrowing as he moved, keeping an eye on his surroundings to be sure to avoid another attack. He spotted a small group of boats on the end of the unfinished bridge, thugs unloading onto the bridge. By the time he made it back to the bridge, his skin was done peeling and he almost had all the burns healed and bleeding stopped. Unfortunately, his shirt was completely burned off and his pants were now tattered shorts. Naruto jumped up on the bridge just in time to see Gato and his thugs assembled at the end of the badly damaged bridge. I'm starting to think you ninja are just a bunch of pussies. The great demon of the mist can barely hold his own against Scarecrow, and then the two I hired to help ran away after a light show. The one who kills Zabuza gets his paycheck. Hiruzen, thought Naruto as he flashed in front of the bandits. It was obvious to the blonde that his sensei was somewhat worn down and he was still keeping Zabuza in check. Sasuke had lost to Haku and appeared to be out cold, though still breathing. Sakura was still shaking from the power of the Kyuubi. Shit! Almost out of chakra from fighting off that damn genjutsu. Gotta do this the old-fashioned way. Naruto unsealed the immortal phoenix and started a deadly dance of carnage and gore that tunneled through the wave of thugs on his way to Gato. The rest of Team 7 as well as Zabuza and Haku watched in amazement as Naruto tore his way through the countless thugs that made up Gato's army. He is a monster! My mom was right! Zabuza stated at the pink-haired girl in amazement. How in the hell did you become a kunoichi? You think that's bad? I killed a whole class of academy students just to get my headband. This is the ninja world, girl, and if you can't handle it, you should just retire now. Sakura looked for Sasuke to save her from the mean man's words, only to see that he still couldn't move. She shrieked and ran to help him. Kakashi looked at his student with shame in his eyes. She was useless, and if he didn't change that soon, she would die very soon. Kakashi turned back to the fight, or slaughter as many would call it, just in time to see Naruto reach the short businessman. What the hell are you? Shouted Gato in fear. After seeing this kid tear through most of his men with a sword bigger than he was, it was understandable that the tiny businessman was terrified. Gato, for the crimes you've committed, your fate is death, stated Naruto as he placed his hand on top of the short man's head, and as slowly as possible ripped his soul out. This fate was too good for you, stated Naruto as he turned back to see all the remaining bandits looking at him like the devil himself was standing before them. Boo! The remaining bandits fled the other way. Unfortunate, it was towards a still somewhat fresh Kakashi and Zabuza, who tore them apart. Good, everyone is safe now, I can sleep, thought Naruto as he fell face first onto what was left of the bridge. A moment later, Kakashi was next to his fallen student. Unknown location. Good, he will make a fine champion. Though he will still have to take my test, stated Rock. As well as mine, but I agree with you this time, you damn cat, he will make a great champion, stated Iroh. He looked to see Ra in deep thought. What's on your mind, Ra? Why was he so badly damaged when he got to 8 tails? It doesn't make any sense that he can use 4 tails with only light burns, 6 tails with slightly worse burns, then at 8 tails his skin melts? Stated Ra quietly. Simple, came a voice behind the 3. They spun around to see a tall, buff, white-haired man with a long beard and pure white eyes. What can we do for you, Lord Jinso? Asked Rock. Oh, not much, I was bored and decided to come visit, only to find you 3 watching another human, stated Jinso, his voice while deep and powerful held an air of childishness. What is so special about this boy that has all of you interested in him? That would be my fault, sir. He signed a contract with my lowers, the Toads, and I decided to check into him a bit further, states Ra as he held his hand up, motioning the white-haired man to the giant crystal dome. Another Toad summoner catch your interest, That Minato was quite a fine human, though he only found the answer after his life ended. Am I to assume that this young man has a superior heart to the last champion you 3 chose? Asked Jinso as he began to watch the key points of the boy's life: beatings, slanders, the Uchiha incident, learning of his parents and burden, his first kill, the test of the immortal phoenix, and so on. Very impressive, the boy has a perfect heart and a wonderful mind. Has he passed any tests yet? Other than the immortal phoenix, he has passed the great question and both all of our preliminary tests. I'm ready to begin the training if the others deem him worthy, stated Ra. I'm going to give him the unstoppable dragon and see if his soul is in fact pure, though I doubt he will fail, stated Iroh. I will give him the ultimate choice test. I'm not as convinced as the others are that he is ready to become the champion yet, stated Rock. Alright then, call for me when he begins his training, stated Jinso as he started to disappear. Oh, you might want to check in with the toads. Fukasaku might be small, but his wife will beat the shit out of you if you steal his summoner. Wait, sir. You said you knew why he burned so badly as 8 tails, but not 6? Stated R.A. Ah yes, it is quite simply really only half of Kyubi is sealed in the young boy. It would make sense that Kyubi's chakra would not mix well when the boy tried to mix it with his own, stated Jinso, who then fully disappeared into nothingness. This proves a problem, stated Rock. What would that be? While his spiritual energy is strong, his physical energy will be much stronger due to Kyubi. Can he learn to harness true nature with being off balance? Questioned the brown-haired man. We will have to work around this. It had been just under 48 hours since Naruto passed out on the bridge, and in that time slot, surprisingly little had happened. With most of the worker heavily injured, though only 3 or 4 dead, there was no one to work in the bridge, and with Naruto still out cold, Sakura still on thin ice with Tsunami, Sasuke constantly training, though not improving much, as he couldn't get his Sharingan to reactivate, and Zabuza and Haku hiding out in Gato's mansion, the country of Wave had been on a basic standstill. Though most of the population was still celebrating the death of Gato, as Tazuna, Inari and even Kakashi in disguise spreading the news of how Naruto fought off 2 S-class ninja and personally killed Gato and a little under half his thugs, most of the village was praising the blonde to near godlike status, though Sakura was usually there to tell her version of the fight, where Sasuke single-handedly beat everyone. Thank God no one believed her. Naruto slowly stirred around 6 in the morning, opening his eyes to show the dull shine of blue that his Rinnegan cast. Man, what hit me? Questioned Naruto as sat up, only to see that he was shirtless and had on a pair of old sweatpants. Several S-rank jutsu, wind-laced kunai, and from what I saw, about 8 tails of Kyubi chakra. Naruto simply stood up and walked towards the door. Where you heading? What do you think, Kakashi? I can only assume that I've been out cold for a day or 2. I'm going to eat shit, and go get my stuff from the bottom of the sea, stated Naruto as he cracked his neck and back. I already retrieved your things. These seals you use are quite interesting, some sort of reinforcement seal mixed with a chakra conversion seal, stated Kakashi as he held up 7 or 8 scrolls. Where's my sword? I know for a fact I'm the only one who could carry it, stated Naruto. In the bridge, you must have stabbed it into the bridge after you slaughtered Gato's men, stated Kakashi. Naruto looked at the scrolls and picked one up, unsealing a pair of blue glasses, placing them on, and again walking to the door. Does Sasuke know exactly who I fought? No, he knows you fought 2 S-class ninja, but he doesn't know that you fought Danzo, stated Kakashi, knowing that Sasuke was training and couldn't hear them. Good, make sure he doesn't learn about it, otherwise he's going to demand more training. Unknown cave. So the Kyubi Jinchuriki is extremely powerful, asked Pain, his pale purple eyes shining bright in the darkness of the cave. Yes, he can use up to 6 tails and remain somewhat in control. He broke my most powerful genjutsu, defeated my Baku and even managed to kill me twice, stated Danzo. Pain seemed to think for a minute before speaking again. Kakazu, what injuries do you have? He destroyed my earth heart, other than that, nothing, stated Kakazu. Rank his skills with and without Kyubi chakra. Without, he has extreme speed, so much so that I'm starting to believe it's a body flicker of some sort, as he moved from about 50 feet away to behind me before I even knew what was going on. He's very strong as well as quick. He was able to dodge my best combos while he was on water and even my tendrils up close, stated Kakazu. Most of the members rose an eyebrow at the thought of fighting someone that fast. With Kyubi chakra, his speed is just as great, his strength is monstrous. One punch folded me in half and liquefied my insides. Also, he seems to be immune to genjutsu while using Kyubi's chakra, stated Danzo. So Minato's brat is just as bothersome as he was. That doesn't surprise me, given his parentage, that seems about right, stated Orochimaru. Who is his mother? Questioned Sasori. Kushina the Red Death Uzumaki, stated Danzo. Several sharp inhales and even a gasp was heard when Naruto's full parentage was unveiled. Pain narrowed his eyes. Konoha is the site for this year's Chunin exams, is it not? Asked Pain. That's what Toby heard, stated Toby. Perhaps we should use the event to gain access to the village? If we can get to the Kyubi during the festivities, perhaps he won't have time to prepare for a fight, and we can catch him off guard, stated Pain. The Kazekage's son will also be in the exams, but he will be tricky to get to, stated the black half of the plant man known as Zetsu. Hell, why don't we just attack the Chunin exams? Seems like it would be simpler. Village of Wave. Naruto had eaten, chatted with Tsunami. They had discussed several topics, including his feelings towards her. He then played with Inari, teaching him how to throw knives and use a small sword he had taken from a thug. He then had lunch and was now walking through the village, all the while never changing from the blue sweatpants he had woken up in, giving everyone that saw him a view of his outrageously chiseled torso and arms. Is that him? Asked one elderly man. Blonde hair, whisker marks, wearing sunglasses. Looks to be him, stated another older man that had been playing shogi with the first old man. Naruto chuckled quietly to himself as he listened to the various comments from the people he walked by. That's the kid that killed Gato. He's more like a god than a man. I want his children. Okay, that last one freaked him out a little bit. Naruto was caught up in his musings when a small girl walked up to him and pulled his pant leg, gaining his attention. Everyone watched with bated breath as the man, kid, god that killed Gato descended to a knee, deactivating his Rinnegan and looked into her eyes, taking off his glasses, showing his crystal blue orbs to stare into the young girl. Hello little one, how may I help you? The little girl was somewhat startled that the man had such a kind and caring voice, as was most of the village. Most of them expected him to sound godlike, or something. My mommy said that you're the one that got rid of the mean man that killed Daddy. Is that true? A look of pain formed on his face. That pudgy little fuck didn't get his fill with killing Kaiza, he killed even more innocent people. Yes. I got rid of him. You won't have to worry about him anymore, you're safe now. The little girl jumped into Naruto's chest, her arms wrapping around in as strong a hug as she could muster. Thank you, mister, the young girl cried. Naruto held her close, waiting for her to get it all out of her system. Everyone had stopped and had started watching, smiles on their faces as he comforted the small girl, proving even more that he was the hero everyone was taking about. After a couple of minutes the young girl's crying died down. Naruto held her away from himself. Now what's your name? And are you out here with anyone? And my name is Amy. I came here with my mommy. She's over there. Little Amy pointed to the side of the street where a 20 or so, rather tall woman. Naruto scooped up the small girl and carried her over to her mother. Hello miss, I believe you lost this? Thank you, smiled the mother, who took the small girl from Naruto and held her. Thank you for saving our village. Truthfully miss, I didn't do that much. If it wasn't for Tazuna, I wouldn't be here, and if it wasn't for my team, I wouldn't have been able to end the tyrant, stated Naruto as he turned to keep moving down the street. Wait! Called out the young mother. Naruto halted and looked back to see what the woman wanted. What's your name? Naruto smiled kindly. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. -10 minutes later, bridge. Naruto arrived at the bridge, only to see huge craters and blood still sitting in the deck of the bridge. Amazing, huh? Naruto swiveled his head to see Tazuna Zabuza cleared all the bodies. Now we just have to clean up the blood and finish the bridge. Unfortunately, my workers are in no shape to finish it. Naruto smiled, and in the next second, 100 Narutos appeared and moved to the bridge, using water-style jutsu to clear the blood and wind chakra to dry everything and remove debris. Just tell my clones what to do and they'll do it, old man. You really are a hero, my boy, stated Tazuna as he moved to the bridge. A quickly growing crowd watched in awe as the young man that saved their village multiplied and started to repair the bridge and build it closer and closer to shore. I'm no hero, I was only the one who was in the right place, at the right time, and had the right tools, stated Naruto with a smile before he flashed to his sword, which was right where Kakashi said it was. He then flashed away, the crowd none the wiser he had left. No kid, you are a hero. You're just a good a person to claim it. Gato's mansion. So what are you going to do now? Asked Naruto. Him and Zabuza were standing in front of the giant vault in the back of his mansion. Haku looked through the books. We're taking all the money that Yagura paid the midget and taking it to Kiri to help overthrow the bloodline haters, stated Zabuza. I felt bad about it at first, but once I saw just how much money is in that vault, I thought better of it, stated Haku. So you're off to fight a Kage, huh? I think you'll need to get a bit stronger to do that, stated Naruto. You're right, kid. I'm high Jonin, but Yagura is mid Kage. I don't really know what to do, but I guess for now I'll just train, stated Zabuza. Naruto pulled a scroll out of his pocket and tossed it to Zabuza. The training equipment I used to get to where I am is in there. Weighted vest, ankle weights, wrist weights, and a couple of jutsu you might find useful, stated Naruto. You just never stop, do you, kid? Stated Zabuza as he placed the scroll in his pocket. My dream in life is to stop the circle of hatred that covers this world. So far I've only found one solution, and it's not an easy one. I must become the center of hate and despair. If everyone is focused on me, whether it be beside me or against me, it will reduce the amount of hate and slow the cycle. Stated Naruto. If you take over Kiri as its new leader, I know you'll lead it well, and back to greatness. When that day comes, you will repay this favor by doing what is necessary to keep peace. Wow, that's deep, kid. When I take over Kiri, I think I'm going to make you an honorary member of Kiri. Stated Zabuza before an almost visible light bulb went off in Zabuza's head. He shot over to the desk next to the vault, and picked up a small black book with one word in it. I think that should help out some. -2 days later, bridge. You'll come back, right, Naruto-ni? Asked Inari with tears in his eyes. Naruto struck a thinking pose. Many of the crowd were waiting intently for the answer. Of course I will. Many of the large crowd that surrounded the group of Konoha shinobi cheered for the blonde. It's with great honor that named this bridge after you, Naruto. Stated Tazuna as two of the not-so-injured bridge workers pulled down on a length of rope to unveil a large cross beam that had the great Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze's bridge inscribed into it. Another cheer sounded throughout the crowd along with a small clap from Kakashi. I would ask you rename the bridge for those who have fallen to Gato, but I know you won't. Thank you for this great honor. Stated Naruto as he bowed to the crowd and started to move down the bridge, a brooding Sasuke and a confused Sakura behind him. 2 hours later. It had been a relatively quiet trip back home so far. Kakashi had congratulated Naruto for a job well done and had said that he was almost assured for a promotion, to which Sasuke questioned why Naruto would get a promotion when he wouldn't. Kakashi and Naruto both looked at him like he was retarded and kept moving. Sakura had been near silent the whole way home, which scared the blonde and Scarecrow. She had been thinking where she had heard the name Namikaze before. She had asked around in Wave for any information on Uzushio, and was pissed off when everyone answered the same way that both Naruto and Tazuna had. After coming to grips with the possibility that the Uzumaki might have been a real clan, she started looking into what the Whirlpool clan might have specialized in. She was once again angered when they replied with any elemental techniques and seals. Now she was trying to think of the other part of Naruto's supposed last name, Namikaze. Only one other person in the world had that last name, and that was the Yondaime, but Naruto didn't look anything like. No fucking way. Drop the henge, Naruto! Shouted Sakura out of the blue. The three males of the group stared at the girl like she had gone crazy. Well, she already was, but that's beside the point. What are you talking about, Haruno? Questioned Naruto, an eyebrow raised above his now blue sunglasses. You're in a henge. How else could you look so much like Yondaime-sama? Accused the pinkette. Heh, finally figured it out, huh? I'm surprised it took so long. Laughed Naruto as he pulled out a kunai and held it up. Sakura scowled at the kunai. It was a replica of the legendary Hiruzen kunai. It even had a fake seal. Naruto handed the kunai to Kakashi and said, "Does this look like the Yondaime's kunai?" Kakashi already knew it was, but decided to put on a show for his student. Yep, even got the seal right. Stated Kakashi as he turned and threw the kunai at a tree, only for Naruto to disappear in a flash and reappear, holding the kunai an inch away from the tree. Satisfied, Haruno? Next day, Hokage office. So you then fought off two unknown S-rank Nin. Kakashi incapacitated Zabuza, Sasuke lost to his apprentice, and then you killed the tyrant Gato? Questioned Sarutobi, making sure to leave out the part about Danzo, lest he have to deal with the damned Uchiha again. Correct, Hokage-sama. I am also recommending Naruto for an unanimous promotion due to his performance in this mission, as well as permission on a private matter involving one of my team, stated Kakashi. Sasuke stood by, brooding so hard that you could actually hear the low growl coming from his throat. Sakura was next to Sasuke, trying her best to gain his attention and failing miserably while at the same time denying that Naruto was the fourth son, as it would mean that he was more special than Sasuke, which just wasn't possible. Alright, Sasuke, Sakura. You're dismissed. Naruto, if you and Kakashi would please stay, I have something to tell both of you. Stated Sarutobi as he ushered both Sasuke and Sakura out the door. Naruto, I'm sorry to inform you of this, but to be promoted to Chunin, you will have to go before the Shinobi Council, though I'm sure that they will allow your promotion after seeing your mission report. Stated Sarutobi. Naruto nodded. He already knew there was a high chance of this happening. So that just leaves your issue, Kakashi. Kakashi closed his book and looked to the aged Kage. I'm going to be blunt, Hokage-sama. Sakura is useless and a hindrance due to her complete lack of skill and her obsession with Sasuke. Sasuke is even more dangerous and is mentally unstable. His drive to kill Danzo is the only thing he cares about, and I'm sure it will come to a fight between him and Naruto, and we both know what will happen if they fought. Sarutobi suddenly had visions of the young Uchiha and about 700 tiny flesh ribbons compressed into a small Sasuke ball. Yes, I could see how that could become a problem. Well, pending investigation, I will disband Team 7, promote Naruto-kun to Chunin, and then perhaps ANBU or Hunter Nin? I'm going to need to find a way for Sasuke to be taken off the active shinobi roster along with Miss Haruno without the council going apeshit. Naruto and Kakashi both sweat dropped. Oh, old man? Perhaps you wish to rethink that last statement? I know what I said, it was supposed to be a joke. Stated Sarutobi. I thought it was rather clever. Hokage-sama? Perhaps we should start the process of promoting Naruto? Questioned Kakashi. Yes, Miss Tari, could you bring me the field promotion forms? Questioned Sarutobi loudly. Of course, Hokage-sama. Oh, hello, Naruto, are the one being promoted? Asked the young woman, who had replaced the last secretary that came down with a sudden case of death after trying to kill Naruto. This one was the definition of a bombshell: long legs, full ass, big chest, brunette, and surprisingly smart. She wore tight black jeans, a blue deep V-cut t-shirt, and sandals similar to the ones that Tsunade the Sannin wore. Hopefully, how have you been? Asked Naruto, thankful that his sunglasses hid his eyes as he was staring at the young woman's large breast. Oh, I've been alright, a little lonely, but other than that good. Yourself? Asked Tari as she moved to the shelf on the far side of the office. Might be promoted, but you already know that. What are your plans tonight? About an hour later, council room. A little early for the bi-monthly meeting? Stated Inoichi. Perhaps we've been selected to host the Chunin exams. Stated Haishur. That's not it. If that was the case, the civilians would be here. Stated Shikaku. Suddenly, Naruto, Kakashi and Sarutobi flashed into the room, startling the shinobi inside. Sarutobi moved to his spot and Naruto and Kakashi moved to stand in the meeting area in front of the long table. You're half right. So far we're the choice for the Chunin exam, though it is not set in stone. Stated Sarutobi as he adjusted himself in his chair. Now for the real reason for this meeting, the promotion of Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze to Chunin and possibly even to Special Jonin, or into ANBU or the Hunters Division. Rejected, stated Haishur. Oh? Did your all-seeing eye see what happened during the A or more than likely S rank mission we just came back from? Questioned Naruto. He didn't even give time for Haishur to answer before he spoke again. Or perhaps you didn't look at the folder that was placed in front of you when you got here? You should watch your tone, Uzumaki. I'm a high-level jonin for a reason, threatened Haishur. Sarutobi sat back with a smirk on his face. Now I know you didn't bother to read the contents of that folder in front of you. I beat Zabuza Momochi, and drove off not one, but two S-class criminals in the time span of about 2 weeks, but I suppose that wouldn't mean much, now would it? Questioned Naruto sarcastically. You do know that it's treason to lie before the council. Stated Inoichi in a threatening, becoming tired of the child's lack of respect. You know it's also illegal to slander a clan head with false accusations in a formal meeting, or do you forget that I own more than half of Konoha and that I'm the closest thing to a prince this village has, due to my father being Hokage, my mother being of royal blood and me legally being the grandson of the Shodaime? Before you call me a liar, maybe you should take your old teammate's lead and read the fucking folder that was handed to you on your way in. Stated Naruto with killing intent, focused solely on Haishur and Inoichi. The council was in complete silence as they thought over everything the blonde had said and then began reading the contents inside the folder. They were shocked to see an S-rank mission report that had been filled out by both Kakashi Hatake as captain and Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze as the co-captain and leader of the mission after Kakashi was injured. Still want to call me a liar? Besides, I now have personal information that could be very vital to one of your clans. Seems one of you was working with Gado. Now I'm not going to come out and say it until someone forced my hand, but until then, you know who you are and you should know that I will destroy you should you wish to butt heads with me. Stated Naruto as he held up a small black book. Chuzo was the first to speak up. If half the information in this report is true, then you are easily qualified for the promotion. Though I would like a seal master to look at your seal to make sure you didn't damage it in the eight-tailed state. As well as a mental examination, it's troubling to hear that you ripped a man's soul out. I can't imagine one would walk away normal from that. Stated Sum. I just want you to play Shikamaru in a game of shogi to show if you have a strategic enough mind for higher level duties once you reach Jonin. Stated the elder Nara. Haishur just nodded, knowing better than to speak again, as anything he said would make him look even more foolish that he had already portrayed. Inoichi did the same as Haishir. Well then, Naruto, I'll set your test for tomorrow, and the day after you'll be sent to either ANBU or the Hunter Division. Next day. Naruto had aced the mental exam, much to the shock of his examiner Inoichi. He had Sarutobi check the seal. It had loosened a little, but nothing extravagant. Now every Jonin, Chunin and several of the older genin, along with Ino and Choji, were watching Naruto beat several keen minds in the game of shogi. First he faced some nameless Chunin, beating him in 15 moves. Then he faced Guy, who had a surprising amount of skill in setting up complex and quick-hitting battle plans. Naruto beat him in 27 moves. Naruto then faced Kakashi, who showed his incredible intelligence when he had backed Naruto into a corner, right before Naruto started, and executed a completely out-of-the-blue diversion/attack combo that ended Kakashi before he ever had a chance to build a defense. The next match was against Shikamaru, who Naruto leads straight into a decoy trap and then took the queen and king. Now it was the crown jewel of shogi to face off against the blonde, Shikaku Nara. I must say I'm impressed, kid. You have a great mind, but only one man has ever beat me in shogi, and you're nowhere near him, stated Shikaku, doing his best to start a mind game against the younger blonde, counting on his inexperience and Uzumaki traits to cause him to anger. It seemed to work like a charm. Naruto started off with a power maneuver that shifted the arrangement of his front line into a cone shape. Shikaku continued his taunts, causing the blonde to continue his dangerous, yet risky attacks. Check, stated Shikaku confidently. Though he was about to win, he was amazed that the blonde had played so well, even under emotional distress. It amazes me that the lead strategist of the village would be so blind to a bluff, stated Naruto, his suddenly calm and collected attitude a total 180 from his heated and miscalculating aura he had been putting out not 2 minutes ago. Naruto started moving his pieces in a seemingly erratic pattern. Shikaku found himself helpless as he went from an almost sure win into being on the receiving end of raining blood. The only strategy known that was completely inescapable. How? No one has ever gotten the raining blood on me? Stated Shikaku. Every Jonin and most of the Chunin in either room were all speechless. The lead strategist had just gotten stopped by a 13-year-old boy. Easy. You baited me, and I used your strategy against you, all the while making it seem like I was containing anger that wasn't there. Then at the last possible move, I shifted strategies, changed mindsets, and left you in the dust. Even the most intelligent man will lose everything to the man that can change moves on a pinhead and has nothing to lose. It has been about 3 months since Naruto had been promoted to Chunin and then became the poster boy of the Utility ANBU Battalion, aka UAB, which is a go-between for the Hokage's personal guard, the Torture and Intelligence Division, and the Hunter Nin Division. During his time in UAB, Naruto had done it all, from clearing the C, B, and all but one of the A-ranked criminals from Konoha's bingo book, extracting information from a few Rouge ninja, and even spent a week as Sarutobi's personal guard, though he didn't like that much, seeing as he had to stay still for about 8 hours at a time. After Naruto's promotion, Team 7 had been put on the reserves list. Sakura and Sasuke both had mental evaluations, standard procedure when anyone under the rank of Jonin participates in an S-rank mission, and the results were shocking to the man who did the evaluations. Sakura was completely and utterly devoted to the Uchiha, and held a deep hatred for Naruto and Kakashi, who she believed held back the Uchiha, but for anyone who was stronger than Sasuke, higher rank than him, or even simply people who she felt got in her way of Sasuke, which was any kunoichi, teammate, or even sensei she had ever had and probably ever would have. Needless to say, Sakura was pulled from the ninja program and forced to have psychiatric help. Sasuke was another story. Sasuke had both an inferiority complex and a superiority complex, meaning that he thought he was God and that his word was law, but any time anyone proved better than him at anything, or anyone went against him, he became extremely enraged and jealous. He found that Sasuke had a truly one-track mind, and surprisingly, it wasn't for killing Danzo, it was killing anyone that was stronger than him and taking their power for his own. Inoichi had tried to get him pulled from the shinobi program, but was denied, so he settled for placing Sasuke on the inactive list with post-mission distress syndrome, a well-known condition where on high-ranking missions, the stress takes effect and the ninja needs a break from action. Sasuke went along with it, because it meant more time for him to train. Currently, Naruto was once again on guard duty for the Hokage, though through some bribing, he had gotten the outdoor post, which just so happened to be next to Kiritari, the hot young Chunin-level secretary that Naruto had been seeing for about 3 months now. The date he took her on the night he was promoted had gone off without a hitch, and about 2 weeks later they had sex for the first time. Kira hadn't walked right for a week. When Naruto knew that no one else was around, he continued the conversation they had been having. So ready for tonight? Seriously? Do you ever run out of steam? I'm not exactly complaining, but I'm pretty sore, even with the healing jutsu I know, stated Kira, her arms crossed under her impressive bust. Hey, not my fault I'm a human stamina generator. And you seemed to like it fine a few nights ago. Something about an orgasm-induced coma? Stated Naruto cheekily. I did say that, and I did enjoy it. But I have my limits, and you basically